Two of Louisiana's best here tonight. St. Thomas More versus Catholic High. Both teams are undefeated. Both teams looking to get to the state championships. Catholic has won the last 4 in this meeting over the Cougars of STM. We got this one teed up for what should be a remarkable football game. An unseasonably hot Friday in early October, but there is no place we would rather be than right here at St. Thomas More for this battle of unbeatens, the Catholic High Bears and the St. Thomas More Cougars. What a ball game we are anticipating here tonight. Jeff Palermo along with my broadcast partner Jason DeQuare, and we are glad to kick off your football weekend with this contest. We are looking at 2 of the best teams in the state of Louisiana. Let's take a look at the rankings in Class 5A and 4A before we go any further, and this will tell you just how good the teams we're looking at here. St. Thomas More, they are number 1 in Class 4A. Last year, runner-ups in Division 2. And then for the Catholic High Bears in 5A, according to the Louisiana Sports Writers Association, they are number 2 behind John Curtis. But when you look at the Max Preps rankings, Jason, Catholic is number 1 in the state. St. Thomas More is number 3. This should be really fun to watch.
Yeah, and when this game starts, you can throw all that out the window. Those rankings aren't going to matter. These are 2 very good football teams, and I'll tell you what, I think you're going to be in for an excellent treat tonight. What I think is going to have to happen a little bit is, believe it or not, both these teams can go fast. They're coming off signature wins in Neville and Carr, but I think Catholic High is going to have to slow the game down a little bit, rely on the physical offensive line, because if St. Thomas More gets clicking, I mean, it can be 50, 60, 70 points.
Well, Catholic High has one of the best running backs in the state that I think people don't really talk enough about, and his name is Josh Parker. He is one of our key players in this game, and then playing both offense and defense, Jason. It's Connor Finucane on the 5A level.
Well, and to the point I made earlier, Josh Parker's going to be key, because how do you keep the St. Thomas More offense off the field? You run the football, and that's what Josh Parker's going to be needed in this game. And then Connor Finucane, 2-way player at the 5A level. They say the only time he comes off the field is when he gives himself a break. So he's going to be critical both ways for Catholic High.
St. Thomas More is led by their terrific senior quarterback, Caleb Holstein, but his favorite target so far this season has been Jack Besh. And how about Josh Stevenson, what he's done in the defensive secondary this year for the Cougars?
Yeah, Jack Besh is the real deal. He's got the height, he's got the size, and he creates a matchup problem, whether he's inside on a linebacker or outside on a defensive back. And then Josh Steven really controls that secondary back there. He's kind of the catalyst, looking for things to happen, and turnovers, interceptions, those types of things from Josh Stevens.
These 2 teams played last season, and it was a terrific matchup, with St. Thomas More losing to the Catholic High Bears 53-42. The Cougars looking to avenge that loss here tonight. Catholic High looking to go 5 and...
Game Time on Your View is brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to serve you with auto, homeowners, life insurance, and more. Real service, real people. ITI Technical College, your key to a better life. And by Peak Performance. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete and everyone stronger, faster, better. Check out yourview.com for in-depth high school football coverage.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is, for a better life. And we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Back at St. Thomas More High School, Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQuire. It is a 4-0 Catholic High Bears team taking on a 4-0 St. Thomas More Cougar squad. The Yearview, Louisiana Game of the Week brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Let's take a look at our keys to the game in this contest. Both of these teams come in, as you can tell, undefeated. First of all, for the Catholic High Bears, who had to make the trip across the Atchafalaya Basin, what do they need to do to get the win here tonight, Jason?
Well, whenever you're on the road, you want to get off to a fast start. No turnovers, good, clean football. They need to get it going early. And then they need to blanket Besh. I'll tell you what, Jack Besh is one of the best wide receivers, possession receivers you can see, and he's the catalyst for this STM offense. They need to slow him down.
And then for the St. Thomas More Cougars, led by their Hall of Fame coach, Jim Hightower.
Well, they need to take some possessions away from Catholic High. Create turnovers. That's always a key to winning the game. And then in the trenches, that's where Coach Hightower is concerned. Battle the Bears in that big and one of their best offensive lines.
Certainly is. They got three guys that are going to be playing college football on that O-line for Catholic High. For more on tonight's matchup, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, Kate Adams. Kate, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Jeff, I'm doing great. I want to tell you a little bit about both of these programs. Tonight's rivalry is probably one of the best in the state. Both of these programs have made trips to the Dome in the last few years. A little history on tonight's matchup. Up until 2015, St. Thomas More was undefeated in the rivalry, but since then, Catholic High has been 4-0 against the Cougars, with all of those games being close affairs. Actually, last year, the Bears were down by 4 scores, but somehow still managed to come out on top, making that St. Thomas More's only regular season loss last year. So let's see what's in store for us tonight, guys.
Both of these teams also played in the state championship game last year. Catholic High lost to John Curtis 49-7, and then for St. Thomas More, they lost a hard-fought game to University High 55-46. There's a take a look at the head coach for the Catholic High Bears in his third season, Gabe Fertitta. So far, he's 2 for 2 when it comes to trips to the state championship game. He took the Catholic Bears to the state title game in 2017. They won that year. As I mentioned, they lost last season to John Curtis. They have been unbelievable so far this season, including a great win last week over the Carr Cougars, the Class 4A champions the last 3 years in a row. Catholic High took it to Carr, beating them 47-12. And then for St. Thomas More, their Hall of Fame coach, Jim Hightower, over 400 wins, second winningest coach in the history of the state, 12th winningest active coach in the country. His only state championship, though, in 2016 when they beat Parkview Baptist 54-29. They are also coming off a solid victory, beating the Neville Tigers last week 35-6. So both teams, Jason, come into this game very confident after beating a couple really good programs. So they got that win under their belt. They kind of come into this game, Jason, knowing, okay, we got that win. Boy, if we can get this one, that's just lanyap going into district play.
No, that's right. And I think both of these teams have really peaked after the fourth game of the season. They're hitting on all cylinders. They're playing good football, both offensively, which we've talked a lot about, but not so much defensively. They are playing well on the defensive side of the ball. So these are two complete teams that you're going to see on the field tonight.
Also want to welcome in those that are watching on CST. I understand you have joined us for the kickoff here between St. Thomas More and Catholic High, two of the state's best. And here comes the return from the 3. This is Braylon Morgan, who's really fast, and he gets up to the 25-yard line, and that's about it. The Cougars shut him down there. For Catholic High, they got a first-year starting quarterback, Jackson Thomas, who's a really good baseball player. In fact, he was the district MVP in baseball, and he really picked up some confidence after a great baseball season, and his leadership has really blossomed for Gabe Fertitta's team, completing 67% of his passes, and he's also a good runner. 181 yards rushing, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Doesn't have a problem ad-libbing when a play breaks down. From the 25-yard line as we get this one underway, and a quick pass out to the near side, and St. Thomas More has it covered well and brought down quickly. That is Michael Grizaffi, who was brought down after a gain of about 3. The offensive coordinator for Catholic, it's Hudson Fuller, and here's a look at their starting lineup. Brian Hibbert is a Rice commitment as a fullback. Thomas Beal is a returning starter on that offensive line. Joseph Alexander is an all-stater, and he's committed to Harvard. And you got Sam Cole, Cole Miller, and then obviously Connor Finucane also gets out there as well. Going deep is Thomas, and in stride. Jalen Toston has toasted the St. Thomas More secondary right off the bat. Told you we'd see fireworks here tonight. It took 50 seconds for our first one to go off.
Well, and Toston is their stretch the field guy, and you can see why. He's their speedster out on the edge. But I tell you what, Jackson Thomas just threw a strike, a dart in stride, and really Toston, all he had to do is open his arms up, and it was there. Of course, he showed his speed, able to beat the cornerback out there on the fly route.
Toston, his second touchdown. His other one came against North Little Rock. A bad hold there, or was maybe the snap wasn't all that great, but the extra point is no good. As for Catholic High trying to get that hold down, it looked to be Landon O'Connor, but he couldn't do it. But how about this arm from the senior, Jackson Thomas?
Well, this is what we expected. I mean, it took a while for them to score in our game last week. Didn't take very long this week. And, you know, both of these teams are very explosive. Catholic High had the ball first, and they're showing you what they can do on offense. And now STM is going to be looking to respond.
He beat a really good cornerback, Grant St. Cyr. And Thomas lofts his 6th touchdown pass of the season. And what a start for Coach Gabe Fertitta. Last year they got off to such a slow start, Jason. We already alluded to it. They fell behind 29-7. That's why one of our keys was get off to a fast start. They did not want to find themselves down by 4 touchdowns again here tonight.
No, and I don't think you can start much faster than that. The only real hiccup there was the extra point. You need to convert those. It was a sort of a sloppy snap there, and the extra point got blocked, but that is about as fast as one can start.
Here is the kickoff, and that one is going to make it into the end zone. Kylan Dupre with the kick into the end zone for the touchback. And now we get to see Caleb Holstein. Last week put on another show in the win over Neville, throwing for over 300 yards. He's a senior. We've been watching him a lot now here lately. Over the last 3 years, last season he completed 72% of his passes. Not as high of a passing completion percentage this year. He'll go to the air right away and completes his first pass to Carter Arsenault. He is the younger brother of one of the best wide receivers St. Thomas More has ever had, Grant Arsenault, who has moved on. Last year, Grant Arsenault had 12 catches against Catholic High. There's the numbers on Holstein. 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season. Looks again, and there's another completion. And that is Carter Arsenault, who's going to get close to the first down. A helmet gets dislodged there. And now we'll have to take a look. I think that was Jack Besh actually on that catch. Here's a look at the starting lineup for the Cougars. They run the ball with Tobin Teveno. Noah Frederick, he has been out with an ankle injury since week 1, but he might play. Luke Howard is just coming back from a broken toe. Holstein on the run, and he overthrows his intended receiver. That will bring up 3rd down and 3 here for St. Thomas More. Cougars are 43% on 3rd down this season. There's a look at the defense. 2 really good linebackers in Hayden Shaheen and Easton Fustele, I should say. What about the season Michael Chernauskas has had already? 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. Bo Bacchus is not in the game. He is hurt. He is out for a few weeks after suffering an injury a couple weeks ago. Offsides was the penalty called on Catholic High, so that's going to give STM a 1st down. Cougars averaging 43 points a game, not nearly as lofty as what they did last year when they averaged 60 a game. And getting a chance to run the football is Tobin Teveno, who had a really good game last week against Neville. 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was by far his best game of the season, as he's averaging 7 yards a carry and has 314 yards.
Yeah, he's filling in for Noah Frederick, who's gone down. He may be available this game, but he's done a really good job. Coach Hightower is very high on him the last couple of weeks.
Holstein, quick throw and another completion and another first down for St. Thomas More. That is Patrick Robichaux, his 10th catch of the season. He's averaging 16 yards a reception, and the Cougars are moving the chains here. A 9-yard completion for Holstein, who is committed to Harvard University, made that commitment over the summer, so obviously a very smart young man on the field. They go back to the ground game and making some nice moves to get about 8 yards was the ball carrier, Teveno.
And the Cougars are famous for having these smaller, shiftier backs, and you're constantly seeing Holstein in that shotgun. And when he tucks it down, you can see the size differential just right there on that play. When you tuck it down to Teveno, it's very hard to find those runners in the line of scrimmage, and they're quick, they're shifty, and powerful.
Holstein is 6'5", feeling some pressure, throws a little too high for his receiver. A couple of high throws here from Holstein. He'll need to settle down a little bit. That was Jean-Luc Lemoyne, who was the intended receiver. 3rd down and 3.
Well, you see here, just didn't quite get set, and he saw the defender coming, just airmails it a bit. We saw one that he missed earlier to Jean-Luc Lemoyne. And like you said, just needs to settle down. We know this game has a significance meaning to him because they lost it last year.
We have a flag before the snap, an illegal procedure call on the Cougars that will back them up 5 yards.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 50.
That's Brant Bergeron. Our referee tonight, Tommy Garrett, as our officials are from the Lafayette Officiating Association. 3rd and 7. Catholic brings the blitz. Holstein stands strong, almost dropping it. Was Besh, and now he's taking off with the football all the way to the 15-yard line.
Well, we featured Besh in the opening. He's a really good wide receiver. And I'll tell you what, even after bobbling this football, well-designed play, you'll see him come in on the slant, bobbles the football, but concentrates, and then it's just, he's not afraid of anyone. He cuts that thing upfield fast.
21-yard reception. Here's some more of Jack Besh. Makes one guy miss, makes another guy miss inside the 5-yard line before he's brought down. What a terrific season this young man has had. He's a junior, 30 catches, 472 yards. You're going to hear a lot about this guy next year when he's a senior, and if he hasn't made a decision on college, there's going to be a lot of schools looking out for him.
Absolutely. He's going to be sought after, particularly in these spread offenses that we run today. He fits real well into these systems.
First to go at the 3, Teveno, nice cut, but boy, Catholic's defense was there to make a tackle inside the 2-yard line. Teveno thought he had a seam there, but the Bears were able to stop it. Leading the charge for Catholic High, Hayden Shaheen, the senior, 5'10", 200 pounds. Coach Fertitta told us that Shaheen and Patrick DeLatte, those are two guys that like to arrive in style when they come in and make a hit. Last week, Catholic's defense held Carr to 284 yards of offense. This, though, is a different kind of offense here in St. Thomas More. Maybe not as many weapons as a year ago, but still very prolific. To the corner of the end zone, up and getting it for the touchdown. St. Thomas More has tied the football game. Jack Besh into the end zone, his 8th touchdown catch of the year.
Well, Catholic High got a whole bunch of Holstein and Besh on that series, and you can see these are two dynamic players. I was watching Holstein warm up, and the guy just tosses the football effortlessly in stride and just accurately. Watch how accurate this throw is to the back of the end zone, and the concentration by Besh, getting the feet down. Strong hands. That's strong hands right there by a wide receiver, getting his feet down and scoring the touchdown.
Michael Chernoskis, he had that defended as well as you possibly could defend it, but no chance. And STM, by adding the extra point, DC Stemmons, who's done a really nice job on the extra points, who's now 24 of 24, knocks it through the uprights, and it's 7-6.
Well, they say, Jeff, the only thing that can beat a good defense is a good offense, and that time it was better offense by St. Thomas More.
Jack Besh, the younger brother of Tiger Besh, who went on to play at Princeton. Let's take a look at this. I want to show you this block that happens right here. That is great job. That's Noah Frederick, the running back, blocking Braylon Hobson, and that allowed Holstein to stand in there and throw that lob pass up for Besh.
Well, and that's important. I mean, we know Noah Frederick's not 100%, but he could probably come in this ball game and do things like that. And on an important pass play, he's going to be more experienced in the blocking schemes. And you're right, Noah Frederick picking up that blitzer right there was key to Holstein getting it in the end zone.
DC Stemmons has it teed up, and he has been one of the big surprises for this 4-0 St. Thomas More team. They really didn't know who was going to be the kicker this season, and this young man comes in and has been terrific for them. And he gets a good leg behind this one. It's a line drive kick. It's going to be returned from the 2-yard line. Braylon Morgan across the 20, and this kid is exciting to watch. A flag goes down. Morgan will eventually go down, and this is going to be coming back.
Boy, he showed another gear.
Yes, he did.
When he got out there. It's coming back, but I tell you what, if you wanted to know the kind of football player Braylon Morgan is, when he got out there on the edge, he shifted it into another gear.
He's averaging 23 yards a return on his kicks, and he goes at it 100% of the time. Just a young man that absolutely loves football. Even through walkthroughs, game for Tita.
Number 61. 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Has to tell Braylon Morgan to knock it down a couple notches there, Braylon.
Well, and he likes to play every position on the field, you know. I mean, he wants to do everything. Throw a block, return kicks, plays a little bit in the slot, plays from running back. I mean, he's your, you talk about your Swiss Army guy. He's that. He'll play all these positions.
Looks like they got Brian Hibbert on the hold. All right, 7-6. Bears got the ball back here at the 30-yard line. 4 down linemen for STM. We'll give you their defensive starters here in a second. It's Barhorst in motion. Thomas will hand it off right up the middle as Parker bounces off one tackler, and he gets about 4 on the play. And here's a look at St. Thomas More's defense. They held Neville last week to 146 yards. Great defensive coordinator in Terry Tidwell. And some tremendous players. Cameron Cannon, a really good defensive end. Blake Champagne. Bryce Bouillon, he was the leading tackler for this squad a season ago. We told you about Josh Stevenson. And here's a pass out to Lloyd Benson. They're really high on this young man, but he got taken down hard. There's Jacob Trahan, really good tackler. Football smarts, had 78 tackles last year. That's his 31st on the season, a loss at 3.
Well, and you'll see here, a good job making him go lateral, not letting him cut into the hole there, getting it upfield that he wants. And Trahan comes and delivers the blow. What's going on, Jeff? 2 touchdowns in. You just getting a chance to do the defense, man?
3rd down and 9 at the 31-yard line. These fans from STM are on their feet. Great atmosphere here. Thomas on the move, whips one over the middle. 1st down. How about that? Throwing across his body, Jason. And into traffic, too. He showed a little zip on that football. We've already seen him go deep. And then the sophomore making the catch in traffic, 15 yards.
Well, and this is where Coach Fertitta knows he's a little bit different than their last year quarterback, Cameron Dartez. He can do this kind of stuff on the run. He can create space time with his speed, and he's got the arm, baseball player, to deliver those types of strikes.
Yeah, Cameron Dartez was their starting quarterback the last couple of seasons. Played it safe most of the time. Not Jackson Thomas. He's a riverboat gambler out there in some ways. That should be another 1st down for the Bears as another completion. On the catch that time for Catholic High was Noah Nash, a senior wideout, 5'10", 175 pounds.
Well, and Catholic High is going tempo too. Look, they're not huddling up, calling it from the sideline. I honestly thought that they may try to be the ones to slow this game down a little bit, which they are checking to the sideline here. Got a
5:45. We have a hydration timeout.
Water break.
Usually we don't have hydration timeouts in October, but it's still August here in South Louisiana.
Tonight's Game Time Keys to the Game are brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Tonight's game time starting lineups are brought to you by Peak Performance. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone. Stronger, faster, better. Choose Peak.
St. Thomas More leading Catholic High 7-6, but we are just underway here. That score will not stay that way for much longer. Catholic High is already on the move, and a very strong start from Jackson Thomas. 4 of 4 for 100 yards and that long touchdown pass. From the 43-yard line, the Bears will operate here, and this time they'll go on the ground, and Josh Parker running right up the middle behind Brian Hibbert. And he gets about 5 there with Josh Parker, who has had some big games. This young man has gotten an offer from Southeastern Louisiana. Last year versus St. Thomas More, he nearly rushed for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. So the Cougars are well aware of how good Josh Parker is. Second down and 5. Again, they put Thomas in a rollout, and Thomas will get hit hard close to that first down marker. Might be a yard shy, though. We'll have to see depending on the spot.
And this is some of the things I thought Catholic High would do. Run the ball off tackle a little bit, you know, do some rollouts, some bootlegs, and maybe methodically drive the ball down the field. What it'll do is it'll eat up some clock. It'll keep that hot Cougars offense on the sideline and, you know, just kind of maybe try to take them out of their tempo a little bit.
This is a Catholic offense that can get hot. Last week, 40 unanswered points against Carr. Thomas did get the first down on that run, and now a different ball carrier enters the ball game. That's L.C. Benjamin, and Benjamin is in an STM secondary breaking tackles to the 12-yard line. Another senior running back who's averaging 7 yards a carry. This is a kid that has really dealt with all kinds of injuries, but now he's finally starting to get healthy, and Gabe Fertitta thinks he's ready to have a breakout game.
Well, and that was a breakout run, and you can see he looks healthy on that run right there. Showed it all cut, vision, and power at the end of it.
Benjamin gets another carry inside the 7. I think it was 2 years ago, Jason, we did a game with Catholic High, and they had this Braylon Morgan guy, they had this Josh Parker guy.
They're all youngsters, yeah.
Man, we're going to be watching this for the next 3 years, and that's the way it's been. They have been just loaded in that backfield.
Yeah, they've dealt with a couple of injuries, you know, here and there with some of their backs, but for the most part, their bevy of backs has been a stable force for them.
Morgan in motion, gets it on the swing pass, has some blocking. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Braylon Morgan, his 3rd touchdown reception of the season, and Catholic goes back out on top.
Yeah, they've been running a lot of this little bootleg stuff, and when you can get the run game going, a lot of this little stuff, dink dunk out here will begin to work, and just spreading the field, hitting him out in space, and allowing him to use his skill set to get in the end zone.
Extra point try, they botched the last one, and this one is straight through. Kylan Dupree, who is now 19 of 22 on extra point tries, knocks it through the uprights, and the Bears are leading by 6.
Well, again, the key here is just getting the ball out quickly, sending the back out in motion, putting him in space, and we saw what he could do on the kick returns. Obviously, he's a player that is very skillful out in the open space, and he shows you him getting in the end zone there. Got his LSU gloves on. Is that a sign or something?
Well, we knew this one was going to be a very competitive game, and we talked to Coach Jim Hightower about that earlier tonight.
Well, we've got a lot of respect for the Catholic High Bears. They got a great program. they do, Gabe and his staff do a great job of coaching them, and they got good players, good kids. So we're expecting a battle. Last year's game is kind of past and gone. We're just working on game number 5 this season, and against a really good football team.
Well, it was funny this week, Jeff. You asked him, you said, hey, you've lost of your 10 last losses, 4 of them have been Catholic High. What's the problem? He said, well, Jeff, they're a good team, man. It's not like we're playing some chumps,
No. And then for Gabe Fertitta's club, they had, when he was here the first time at Catholic High as an offensive coordinator, they could never beat STM. STM won the first 3 out of 4 matchups. The last win for STM in this series was in 2010, a 56-23 win. But since then, it's been all Bears in the last 4 contests.
Holstein's pass complete.
Holstein completes another pass and catching it this time for STM. That's Gene Lemoyne on the grab. His 9th catch of the season, just shy of the first down marker, gain of 8. From the 28, the Harvard commitment takes the low snap, zips one, and off the hands of Carter Arsenault, and it's 3rd down and 2.
Well, in this system, those are ones you have to come down with. Now, I couldn't tell if it was a little behind him there, but you got to come down with those catches.
St. Thomas More averaging 453 yards of offense, converting 43% of the time on 3rd down coming into this game. They run the football here, and a nice run by Teveno. Patient, looking for a little hole, and he gets it. Gain of about 5 to the 34-yard line. And what's so impressive about these two offenses, Jason, is just the different looks they give you.
Yep.
Catholic High has always been kind of like that, a little gimmicky, and there's going to be an offsides penalty. But you really, with Shane Savoie, the offensive coordinator for STM, Hudson Fuller for Catholic.
Number 90.
You don't know what's coming.
No, they keep you off balance. That's absolutely right, and they can do it in so many different ways. It's really hard for a defense to settle in, because once you take away one thing, then they're coming at you with something else.
1st down and 5. Holstein goes to his 2nd receiver, and he's wide open. Peyton Bro, another 1st down. The ball is on the ground, and a flag is on the ground too, but it will remain Cougars football. How about all the different receivers, the different running backs? I mean, usually when we prepare for a high school game, Jason, it's 3 or 4 guys. There's a phone book of guys we got to know about here tonight.
That's right. That's right. And look, you got when you play in these up-tempo games, offenses, you got to have a bevy of receivers and a bevy of backs, because the tempo's so fast, the conditioning and how fast you're going.
After the play, personal foul on the offense, number 12. 1st down.
Well, the 1st down is good, but
missed that on Luke Lemoyne.
Yeah. So that'll mark him back 15 yards. Let's go down to the field, and Kate Adams has a report for us. Kate?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, I overheard Coach Hightower basically telling his defense, look, this is not the same defense that I saw in last week's games. You guys have to step up. This is not what we practiced this week. So basically do what we practice, and everything will be okay. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kate. Last week they held a really good Neville team to just 6 points. I mean, that's really impressive. And in fact, they held Neville, as I mentioned earlier, to just 146 yards of total offense. 1st down and 10. Holstein to throw over the middle, and a nice catch and tackle afterwards. And on the catch there for STM, that was Luke Howard on the catch.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see when Luke Howard would get in here. We were talking to Coach Savoie, as you mentioned, before the game, and Luke Howard's been kind of hobbled up a bit, and they didn't know how many series or what packages he would get in. But when you get him and Besh going collectively in this offense, that's when you start talking about averaging the 50 and 60 points a game.
88 for Luke Howard, the McNeese commitment. They finally get some pressure on Holstein, and he goes down. And guess who? Connor Finucane. This kid goes both ways on the 5A level, a 32 on his ACT. He's got an interception on the season, and he's an Army commitment, just threw his blocker away.
Yeah, and that wasn't a single blocker. That was a double team. And
a flag comes in at the end. I think that is offsides on Catholic.
Yeah, good look at Finucane there. Just sheds his blockers. And, talking with Fertitta, he gives Finucane a lot of responsibility as to when to take himself out of the game. He goes on offense, he goes on defense, and thinks he's responsible enough to know when he needs to take a breather.
Great heavyweight wrestler, too. 37-7 last year on the Division I level, where he finished third. Probably plays center in college. Low snap. Holstein's got to pick it up, gets rid of it quickly, and makes something out of it, a 7-yard play, as that's Patrick Robichaux on another catch.
Yeah, it was a good job by handling that snap with pressure and getting that ball out.
Holstein rated as the third best quarterback in the state. You got Keelan Brown at Zachary, TJ Finley. Both of those guys are really good. Holstein is just a surgeon back there, though. Here's Noah Frederick getting a carry. They've really missed his 4.5 speed. First down, and you're right, you said it a moment ago, Jason. I mean, last year this team averaged nearly 60 points a game. This year it's 43, so you think they're having a bit of a down year, but they don't have Luke Howard, they don't have Noah Frederick, and they're trying to replace a couple of great wide receivers they had last year. So they're almost there, especially if Frederick and Howard get healthy. Pass out to the flat, Carter Arsenault, and wrestling him out of bounds is Joshua Wax, who's got a couple of interceptions on the season, just a sophomore. Told you a second ago, Caleb Holstein committed to Harvard, made the decision during the summer, but there's still some schools, especially here in Louisiana, still sniffing around. And you never know what might happen in today's day of student athletes and the decisions they make, but right now big hit. Carter Arsenault got taken down hard, and hopefully the tackler is okay. That was Easton Fusilier who delivered the blow. Brings up third down and long.
Yeah, just a little stretch pass here, and Fusilier comes up and hits him right around the midsection.
They're going to say that's incomplete, or is that the end of the first quarter?
I think that ball's complete.
That's a catch, but that's the end of the first quarter.
Fusilier still down.
A terrific first quarter from St. Thomas More, where the Cougars trying to win over Catholic High for the first time since 2010. The Bears off to that fast start on the long touchdown pass on their first play, or first possession of the night. There is a look at it there.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
Here in Louisiana, we play to win every single game. Under John Bell Edwards, our economy ranks dead last in America.
Eddie Risponi will win back lost jobs, reverse the Edwards tax hikes, and blitz trial lawyer control and corruption.
Louisiana shouldn't settle for last place in anything. I'm Eddie Risponi. First is where we belong. It's time to lead the South in football and in jobs.
Eddie Risponi for governor.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Back here at St. Thomas More, the #1 student section in the state, according to STM. Third down and 10. Holstein throws, and it's incomplete, or he had a foot out of bounds, or a knee out of bounds. Luke Howard on the catch.
I think they're spotting it in high school. Obviously, knee touches the ground, you're down. I think he caught it with the knee down.
So fourth down, a gain of 3. They'll keep the offense on the field here. This would be a 42-yard field goal if they would wanted to try it. But you need touchdowns in this game, not 3 points.
Yeah, here we go. Quick replay. Yeah, knee down. Great camera work.
Holstein caught. First down. Howard, stiff arm, pylon. Did he get in?
Yes, he's in there. I think this is the difference here. Well, they're marking him a little short, Jeff.
Yeah, they're marking him at
he
the
must
one.
have stepped out of bounds and didn't realize it. Now, he hasn't played the last couple of weeks, and they were wondering about his conditioning. But here, let's see. And And look, there's not going to be a replay on this, so if the ref's marking him short, he's short.
And unfortunately, we don't have our pylon camera working tonight, Jason, to give you a really good look at that.
Yeah? Well, you got those pylon eyes from here, Jeff. You should be able to see that.
First and goal at the 1 inside the Farm Bureau Insurance red zone, a 24-yard pass play. On 4th down, Holstein quarterback sneak. Did he get in? Touchdown, Cougars. We're all tied up again. Let's go back to the catch and run by Luke Howard.
Yeah, let's see. It had to be a foot on the sideline. Let's see. Yeah, I think when you have white cleats and then the white sideline, it's sometimes hard to see. But I think the way that he stepped there, he was out. And then here's Holstein just using his big frame and body and helping him into the end zone.
Extra point try from Stemmons. Again, he has not missed at all this season. Try to give STM its 1-point lead back. Good snap, good hold, and it is through. 14-13 is our score, as neither defense has been able to figure out the other team's offense at this moment.
Yeah, they figured it out. They're both good. So what's the pink thing, Jeff? Did we find out?
October. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay, is that what's going on?
It might possibly be. And
pink out? Maybe Kate will get us something on that.
But tremendous atmosphere here at Cougar Stadium. And we talked to Catholic High coach Gabe Fertitta about what they were expecting tonight, playing here tonight at STM.
Yeah, we love playing here. They do a great job here of, having a real electric atmosphere and the crowd and the fans and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of what high school football is all about. You got to love it.
Yeah, they had the Metallica cranking up earlier here tonight during pregame. I saw you bobbing your head as we were down on the field.
Nice little run out they did. They got the steam or the smoke going.
Yeah. They give the Miami Hurricanes a run with the entrance they make into the stadium. This will be another return opportunity for Braylon Morgan. How many times do you want to go to the well with this guy? Nice job by St. Thomas More to cover him up at the 28-yard line. And the Bears offense comes back out on the field. They average 41 points a game. Last year against St. Thomas More, a balanced attack against the Cougars. 255 yards rushing, 276 yards passing. Thomas has shown off and really good arms so far, and he's got some shifty moves too. He can make you miss when he decides to run the football. From the 28 as he's barking out the signals. Zips one here to the near side and dodging a couple tacklers. That's Jalen Tostin, another big pass play for him. He started this football game with a long touchdown catch, and here on his second grab of the night, he moves the ball into Cougar territory, 29 yards. Tostin on the catch, right?
I think that might be Brandon Cat, no?
Yeah, it's Tostin.
Tostin. Okay, that's Tostin. Okay, yeah, they've got 2 13s. That's right, yeah.
Yep, that'll confuse you all the time. A run up the middle here and gets about 6 or 7 on the carry. I think that was Parker.
Got another player down here on the line. 2 of them. See, they're up. I'll tell you what, you just have to be in shape all across the board as fast as they go defensively.
I think that was George Hart on the carry, and here's the sack. STM gets in the backfield. Brandon Eschlin, his 3rd sack of the season, and it comes at a good time for STM, forces 3rd down and long.
Yeah, just getting in the backfield, and saw a sack earlier on Holston, and now the Cougars turn the tide, and they're able to get in there, get in the backfield, and get Thomas. And I tell you what, that got this crowd going. They are all on their feet over here, and knowing that this is a big down, this could possibly force the first punt of the football game.
Loss of 9. 10th sack of the season for that STM defense. Can't handle the snap is Thomas. Now he whips one towards the first down marker, and it is incomplete. They nearly still got the first down after all of that. And you're right, Jason, forcing punts in this game is huge. It's like gold.
Well, and he actually had 2 receivers in the area. I think it may have been Etheridge who had the first shot at it, then kind of goes through his arms, and then that was Sampson who also had a shot at the football. So a little loss of concentration on a high snap there, but still Thompson does a good job of getting the ball out there and almost coming down with it for a first down.
That is the first incompletion for Thomas here tonight. Prior to that pass, he was 6 of 6 for 137 yards.
Dupree to punt for the Bears.
Dupree's punt, a high end-over-end punt. Fair catch called at the 15 by Jack Besh.
Well,
31-yard punt.
Cougars 1-0, the first defensive stop. So let's see if Kalakai can exchange favor on defense here.
Well, don't forget, if you miss any of the action this season, go to yearview.com/football and sign up for the Game Time newsletter to get the previous week's highlights, stories, and recruiting news, along with a preview of the upcoming week's matchups delivered straight to your inbox. Again, yearview.com/football. From the 15-yard line, Holstein whips one to the 20-yard line, and a hurdle job on the far sidelines.
Well, this kid's an athlete.
Jack Besh.
He is he is a phenomenal athlete. First of all, the move he put on the sideline, he just left this guy in his whoop, whoop, you know what there. And then the hurdle, my goodness. That's raw athleticism that you see there.
Hayden Shaheen on the tackle finally, but not before 18 yards from Jack Besh. Terrific play. At the 33. Holstein from a good pocket. And ball knocked up in the air and incomplete. Diving for it there, trying to get to it was Peyton Bro.
Yeah, that was a dangerous one there, throwing in a lot of traffic, but a lot of confidence. Holston has a lot of confidence in his arm, but when that ball gets tipped around there, that's when people start holding their breath, and good effort there by Bro trying to come up with it.
Jack Besh is the wide receiver to the far side, to the top of your screen. And we have a whistle before and a flag before the snap, and another procedure penalty. We've seen a few of these here tonight.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 50.
3 penalties now for STM, 4 for Catholic High. And it's 2nd down and 15. From the 28-yard line. Holstein looking under pressure, and Finucane gets him again.
Well, that's the stud on defense and offense for that matter, but Finucane he's a problem. You got to get him blocked. If you don't get him in, you saw how quickly he sheds his guy, and once he beats his guy like that, that's it. All Holston can do is really just eat the football, and now you're talking about a big play. We just said, is Catholic High going to trade turns and get their stop here, but now it's 3rd and forever, so good chance here to force the Cougars to punt the football.
STM is 3 for 4 on 3rd downs. Wes Woodward in on that sack as well. Yeah, 3rd down and 21 here. Let's see what Holstein can pull out of his magic hat. He'll wind up and deliver one deep. And it's caught! First down, STM on the incomplete.
Wow.
He was out of bounds. Besh can't believe it. He thought he made a terrific grab with a foot in bounds, but the referee was Johnny on the spot, and STM will have to punt.
Even if this is out of bounds, this Besh is something else, man. He just goes up and high points the ball, and that's close. That's close, Jeff. Let's see, another good shot there, and I mean, that's just, but the effort.
Well, Jack Besh, if you look at the 24/7 ratings, recruiting ratings for next year, he's rated about the 30th best player in the state next year, or in his class. I want to see who the other 29 are.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Oh, good punt here that takes an STM bounce and gets out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Yeah. Lieber King just needs to put under the bottom of his, he's the real deal. That's all you need, because he is, man.
So now Catholic High will take over. So both teams exchange punts here in the second quarter. That was a 44-yard punt. And coming back out there is Jackson Thomas. So the key is for these defenses, you got to get a negative play somewhere in there, right?
Yeah,
you
a sack or a
sack or something.
Yeah, but they kept it clean with the turnovers thus far.
Because if you let these guys just go on schedule, you're not going to stop them.
Yeah.
They hand it off here, and the Cougars defense stops the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage, Braylon Morgan.
And a lot of it, too, is production on first down. So this is a good play by the Cougars defense. You don't let big production on first down, because if either one of these teams sense their momentum on the first play of a drive, that's when they accelerate. That's when they get going.
John Paul Bourgeois, one of the defenders there. Second down and 10. Both running backs out of the backfield in motion. Unique plays. You always see it from Catholic High. Another pass to the near side. That's Toston, who's been really a headache for STM. And Toston's going to get wrapped up. Only a gain of about 5 for the senior, who's got 4.5 speed.
And he's tough out there, man. He's shedding tacklers and breaking the first tackle.
No Solomon Singleton tonight for Catholic High, one of their senior receivers. He's out with an injury.
But watch him just break these. That's 2 tacklers he's breaking there, and then looking for a little daylight, but good job by the Cougars. Helmets to the football.
Cougar fans on their feet again as Catholic High is 1 of 2 on third downs. Third down and 4. You can see the towels at the bottom of your screen waving around. To Parker. Parker left side, and the Cougars shut him down, I think. Second effort, he gets closer, but I still think he's a yard shy of the first down. And this STM defense starting to flex its muscles a little bit now.
Well, they don't think about it, but I think you punt the football. I just don't think you take the risk and give STM a short field. But they are definitely stewing this thing over. They'll take a timeout and think about it.
Water timeout, the hydration timeout comes at a good time here for the Bears. They're down by 1 and they're facing 4th down and 1 in their own territory. We'll see what.
Tonight's game time starting lineups are brought to you by ITI Technical College, your key to a better life. Check out the stories behind the games. Visit yourview.com/Louisiana.
Here in Louisiana, we play to win every single game. Under John Bell Edwards, our economy ranks dead last in America.
Eddie Risponi will win back lost jobs, reverse the Edwards tax hikes, and blitz trial lawyer control and corruption.
Louisiana shouldn't settle for last place in anything. I'm Eddie Risponi. First is where we belong. It's time to lead the South in football and in jobs.
Eddie Risponi for governor.
Tonight's game time keys to the game are brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow cook, fall off the bone perfection, and the best baked beans in America. For more game time high school football coverage, check out yourview.com.
Welcome back. Well, just wanted to give you a little history on those hydration timeouts. Actually, it's mandated at the beginning of the season to have those hydration times out up until the end of September, but the LHSAA decided to go ahead and extend those hydration timeouts, basically because it's still very hot here in Louisiana, so those will be extended until further notice. Back to you guys.
Well, hopefully next week when we're in Vacherie for St. James and Lutcher, we won't have them.
It's possible we could have them here till December. You never know.
4th down and 1. They are going to go for it, or at least maybe draw them off sides. On the rollout is Thomas. Looks downfield, incomplete. The pass hit the ground first before the receiver can catch it. Catholic High is in disagreement, but that's the good call. Noah Nash got his hands around it, but the ball hit the ground first.
Well, and I can guarantee you this is not what Catholic High wanted to do on this play. They were forced to throw it deep, but I think they wanted a little bootleg there with the running back, a little RPO, and do something a little more conservative.
It's closer than I thought. I thought it short hopped into his hands, but it's still an incompletion.
Yeah.
The ground certainly helped him catch that ball. But how about the field position STM has now at the 43-yard line?
Yeah, and this can change things in a hurry. You give STM a short field. That's why I was thinking you punt the football.
Now this is going to be a double pass going downfield, wide open, Besh, touchdown Cougars, razzle dazzle.
That is exactly what you do on a big turnover. This was a turnover on downs, but the idea is to take a quick and a deep shot on the very first play, and that's exactly what St. Thomas More did. Watch, they throw it out in the flat here, thinking that, hey, it's just a little toss sweep there, and then, of course, Jack Besh gets downfield, throws the football, and a great play call. Sucks the defense up. He lets it go, and he's wide open there.
That's Carter Domingue who threw this ball downfield, a really good basketball player, and he's got an arm, too. Wasn't as pretty of a pass as Holstein, but it was just as effective.
Yeah, just completely fooled the Catholic High defense, sucked him up on the little bubble screen out there, and St. Thomas More went in for the kill.
Stemmons now the extra point try. Snap down, kick is up, and it's good. So St. Thomas More now its biggest lead of the night. An 8-point lead over the Bears.
Again here you see in motion. First pass good, second pass good, and just a great play call there. Just completely had that Bear defense full.
So Besh now 9 touchdown catches on the season. And it's 21-13 with 5:30 to go before halftime, and the Bears will need to respond now. They've not scored on their last 2 possessions as STM's defense has figured something out here.
Yeah, and you go back to that 4th down play by Catholic High, I can guarantee you that's not what they went to their last option. It's good defense by the Cougars, but when Jackson Thomas rolled out, they were hoping he could either pick it up with his feet or just kind of dump it off to the running back, and both were covered, forced to take a shot down the field.
There's a look at our scoring drive brought to you by ITI Technical College. That was beautiful. One play, 43 yards. That's right. It was a beautiful execution there.
Yeah, I love when they analyze their own plays, man. That's our job, Jeff.
Yeah. Line drive kick. Parker this time with it. Parker running hard across the 30-yard line. Big collision on that football field. But everybody's okay. And the Bears offense comes back out onto the field.
Yeah, it's time for them to respond. They've been stagnant the last couple of drives here. So they got to look to get it going.
Both of these teams have really played tough schedules. Catholic High started the year playing their crosstown rival, Parkview Baptist, beat the Eagles 62-7. North Little Rock in week 2, the Bears went up to Shreveport to beat them. Had an emotional victory over U High on the LSU campus in week 3, and then clobbered Carr last week 47-12. They were 11-2 last year and lost to Curtis in the state championship game. In a rematch of the Division I state championship game, Catholic High won it 2 years ago. 2-yard run on that carry from Josh Parker. Parker's just got great vision. Rushed for 1,100 yards last year. Ran track last year, did Josh Parker, and Gabe Fertitta says it really improved his burst.
Yeah, we've seen it on a couple plays here. Just kind of creating that next gear for him.
2nd down and 8. Back to the, no, it's Thomas keeping it. Little high on that pass, and Thomas, who started 6 for 6 now, having a hard time completing any passes. Shelton Sampson was the intended receiver, and another 3rd and long coming up here for the Bears.
Well, I think Thomas needs to just calm down a little bit. I think on that one, he probably should have tucked it and ran. He had a lot of daylight in front of him. Instead, he took the lesser percentage play trying to force it down to his receiver. But in these games, you got to just take what the defense gives you. No, it may not be a first down, but those big chunks are necessary parts.
Bears could sure use a 3rd down conversion. Thomas's throws got his man wide open, 1st down. Michael Grizzafi, who's got great hands, a speedy slot receiver.
Yeah,
7th catch of the season.
He'll do everything in this offense. He'll take sweeps, he'll play in the slot, and he can come up with big catches. And you know, that's the way to come back on a throw from Thomas. He's missed the last couple, but this one was thrown well across the field. Big, strong throw, and picks up the much-needed first down for Catholic High.
Good job by that offensive line for Catholic High. In motion, it's Benson. Instead, they run it right up the middle. A big collision as Parker gets to the 50-yard line. We are seeing some hits in this football game.
Yeah, don't shortchange these defenses.
No.
They will come up and play. We've seen a few good series on defense now, and Parker's not an easy guy to bring down.
One thing that Jim Hightower really liked about that performance against Neville last week is they tackled so well. And they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. 2nd down and 4. Right back up the middle again with Parker. Drags the tackler for a couple yards. He'll be a yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, and I still get the sense that Catholic High is trying to slow this game down. They've been, their balance as of late has been more running the football in these last couple of series. Kind of trying to impose their will on the offensive line. You see Coach there, he was the offensive line coach, Coach Fertitta, before he became the head coach. So he believes in his big hogs up front, and I think that's where he wants to try to win the game.
Gabe Fertitta, a Holy Cross grad who played his college football at Mississippi College. 3rd down and a long one. Jet sweep time. Nope, Thomas keeps it himself, puts his head down, and he's got the first down. Took on Hunter Combry, the linebacker for St. Thomas More, and they move the chains. A 4-yard run for Jackson Thomas.
At 3 minutes to go, so they're going to keep trying to stew on this clock a little bit.
STM will get the ball to begin the second half. Nowhere to run that time for the ball carrier. Catholic High's George Hart ran right into the heart of the STM defense and only got a yard. In on the stop for the Cougars, Gregory Alleman. Second down and 9. Barhorst in motion. Parker fell down right on the STM logo, and another 3rd and long for the Bears as we get close to the 2-minute mark.
Well, is he all right? He can't get up. I'm wondering if an ankle went out. He was trying to cut laterally when he didn't like what he saw off tackle, and he just went down. I couldn't see if he twisted an ankle there.
So the trainers will come out and take a look at Josh Parker, and he is in a lot of pain. We'll take a break, and we'll have more from St. Thomas More High School. Cougars leading the Bears 21-13. This is.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak, and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Good news, Josh Parker walked off on his own power, but here's what happened when he tried to make a cut on the 2nd down play. A little hyperextension there, maybe.
Yeah.
3rd down and 11 from the 44-yard line for the Bears. Down by 8 in hostile territory in Lafayette. Back to the ground again.
Well, that's an interesting call there.
Braylon Morgan got to the 43. Makes me wonder if they're going to go for it on 4th down, but maybe not. They're going to bring the punt team out. They can't afford to go down by 2 scores.
No, I think they may have gone for it. Maybe the thinking was, if we pick up half of it, we're kind of in that, let's see what we'll do territory. And they were thinking 4 downs and maybe trying to fool them on a run play, but I don't know about that one.
Timeout, STM. Their first of 3 with 1:51. Plenty of time. Now they need a good punt here. Do the Bears to try to pin the Cougars back.
Yeah. And plenty of time is an understatement. If there's 20 seconds left on that clock, there's plenty of time.
Kylan Dupree is the punter for Catholic High. He's got one inside the 20, an average of 30 yards. Catholic High, everybody thinks about their great running backs that they've had here, and they've had some.
You're not their great kickers, Jeff?
They've had some great kickers, starting with Jason DeQueer. But after Jason DeQueer, you had Parker Fontenot, who hit the game-winning kick in the 2015 state championship game. In 2017, it was Blake Davis. He was a great punter for Catholic High, really helped them in the win over John Curtis. And then when we did the semifinal win over Rummel, Cole Kazanov hit the 35-yard field goal to beat Rummel last year. Yeah, and helped the Bears get back to the state championship game. So they've had a great run of it. And Kylan Dupree is trying to fill those shoes. A little bit of a rugby-style punt here. Takes a Bears bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at the 15. 1:50 on the clock, but plenty of time here for the Cougars.
Yeah, it's going to be an important defensive series for Catholic High. You're on the road. You're down by a touchdown. And like you said, STM gets the ball to start the second half. So, you know, you really have to try to keep them in front of you and do everything you can to keep them out of the end zone, because they're going to get the ball right back after half.
28-yard punt for Catholic High. STM will start from their own 15. Holstein looking to his right. Wings one over there. Another first down, and it's just hard to defend Jack Besh.
Yeah, and it's hard to defend this offense, because when you watch Holstein, you're like, why don't you get pressure on him or rattle him? Well, he's getting the ball out in like a second and a half. I mean, you don't even have time to get a pass rush as fast as he's getting that ball out of his hands.
He's a 3-year starter. He goes through his reads so quickly now, Jason.
He knows where everybody's going to be. I mean, he just knows the system.
From the 27-yard line, we saw his first game, really full game of varsity action a couple of years ago when he came in as a backup for an injured STM quarterback against Turlings, and he wowed us that night. And last year he was the Class 4A offensive MVP.
Well, and you mentioned the other two quarterbacks that are ahead of him, but they're a little different style. Holstein's not going to tuck it and run for 100 yards a game, but those other quarterbacks will. He is your true, more prototypical thrower out of the spread.
2nd and 3. Plenty of time. Nice catch on the near sidelines. Long throw there. Lemoyne makes the grab at the 43. They move the chains again, and the clock stops with 1:27. How far is this throw, Jason?
Unbelievable. I mean, and it's accurate, and he does it so effortless. I mean, and it's just, he throws one of the prettiest balls that I've seen, you know, doing these high school games.
6'5". That one's intercepted. Big time interception by Joshua Robertson, back into STM territory. And now the Bears have a chance to put some points on the board before halftime. Remember this play. This could be a turning point.
Well, this is a big time play by Robertson. He just goes and gets it right there. That ball thrown a little higher would have gotten to his receiver, but he just goes and plucks it out of the air. So now Catholic High responds a bit here. That is the defensive play that they needed to kind of put them right back in this thing.
First turnover of the night. Nice return there from Robertson. 29 yards on the return. Just a sophomore. They've had some injuries in that defensive secondary, has Catholic, so they've been relying on some sophomore DBs. But Shane Savoie was telling me before the game, they got some sophomores in that defensive secondary. This is a good program. They wouldn't be out there if they weren't good. Braylon Morgan trying to turn the corner here. Gets about 8. Now Catholic's got all 3 timeouts, so they can, at the 22-yard line here, they can take their time.
Yeah, they have plenty of time. Time's not an issue. You got a minute left. Timeouts. You're seeing Braylon Morgan now, too. Oh, there's Josh Parker. I was wondering if he was going to be able to get back in the game.
And he picks up a block, and now running the football is Thomas, who takes a major hit at the 19-yard line. It's a first down. Jacob Trahan, we've seen him lower the boom before, and he did it again. Clock stops at 47 seconds. Now they get it going again as they have the chain set. Thomas back to the ground with Parker. Parker won't go down easy. Might want to use a timeout here, and I think Catholic High will with 34 seconds. These are two great coaching staffs too, Jason. You're not going to see a lot of mistakes with time management or not enough personnel on the field or confusion. These guys are, it's like watching clockwork.
Well, they've got their systems. Of course, Jim Hightower's been coaching here since 75, and the number of wins he has, throughout the country. What does he rank, like 9th or 10th?
Well, 12th active winningest coach in the country.
Yeah. And then, Fertitta, a much younger guy, but he grew up under a Hightower-esque type coach and Coach Weiner. So, I mean, he knows this program in and out, and he's been a part of it, and so they're going to be very, very well trained.
There is a look at Jim Hightower. He is in the Louisiana High School Hall of Fame, as he should be. Two-time Coach of the Year, Division II champions, 32 consecutive playoff appearances, of course. The winningest coach is J.T. Curtis, but 422, 125, and 1. I ask him if he remembers that tie game and what happened. There's a look at where he is when it comes to most wins in Louisiana history. Second down and about 7.
Got him.
Thomas over the middle, and that's almost intercepted. Boy, that ball was up there forever. Tolston was the receiver he was trying to get to. Good closing speed there from Bo Moncla.
And Thomas was just late on the football. Right then, he should have let it go a long time ago. He had him open, and you can see there, because he threw that ball so late, it allowed the defensive back to close on it. But that ball should have come out about a second or two earlier.
3rd down and 7. 3 of 6 are the Bears on 3rd down. Thomas on a run play. He's got the first down. I told you he can run with the football if you need him to, as he gets it up to the 5-yard line. Bears will use another timeout. They got one more. Ball placed just inside the 6.
And Fertitta showing you he's still got some speed. He sprinted out to the 5-yard line there and called that timeout. But now just get your composure here. You're going to have to call some plays while you're huddled up there. 21 seconds left. You pick up a first down, so you got to kind of know the situation here.
Yeah, with 21 seconds, I think your first play here is a pass play, though, Jason. And then maybe you might want to think about running it and see if you can't run it in, because then you can use your timeout.
Yeah, I don't like running the football. No timeout. Oh, you have one timeout.
You got one more timeout.
So you could run the football if you didn't
Not
have
on the
any,
first
but
play. I think the first play you got to pass it.
Yeah, but that's what they're talking about in the huddle. But I think if you do run the football and you get tackled, you got to burn that last timeout.
From the 6-yard line, 1st and goal.
I know they'd like to preserve it in case they want to do a timeout to get the field goal team on.
Morgan and Parker back in the backfield, and now moving out of there is Morgan. Thomas feeling a little heat, gets rid of it, and is that incomplete? It would be better if it is for Catholic if it is.
You're better off not catching that football, so Braylon Morgan, don't plead that you caught it. Just get back in the huddle, because that wasn't much gain, and you were going to lose a lot of clock.
So here with 13 seconds in a timeout, this is where I think you can run the ball. See if you can't get it into the end zone that way.
Yeah, or do one of these RPOs, get Thomas on the move. We've seen him pick up and run the football, pick up this last first down, and give him an option. Where he can either throw it in the end zone or he can run it himself and call a timeout.
Thomas surveying the defense. There goes Morgan in motion again. Thomas looking to throw.
Got him.
And he's got Morgan at the goal line. Did he get in? No, the clock's rolling. They got to call a timeout, and they do with 3 seconds left. Oh, boy. We got to see this one on replay. This one was so close.
It's close. Let's see. Let's see if we can catch him. Throws it out into the flat here. Morgan tries to make his move. No.
Oh, man, that's tough. Again, we need the...
So, look, the first hit, he gets knocked backwards. The ball clearly doesn't get over right there. Now, Oh, that arm. I think that's a good call. I think that elbow was down before he's able to wrap that ball back around. Let's see right here. He's knocked back. Ball's not over the plane. Watch that left elbow right there. I think that's a good call.
Great call. Great call by the officials. Now, how about this call with 3 seconds left? Do you go for 3? It's a tough angle, though. The ball's all the way on the near hash mark. Inside the 1, I think you got to go for it.
You got to go for it.
This
here.
is one of the best Catholic high offensive lines they've had in a long time. You got to trust the big 5 guys in front here to create a little bit of a room for Parker or whoever it is.
And I might bring my big boy Elsie Benjamin in the game, or get Hibbert in the act, who's a commitment to Rice. Get those big guys out there. Yeah, there you see Hibbert. I bet you Finucane's probably in there somewhere. It goes both ways.
Now STM has one timeout or 2 timeouts, and they'll use one of them here.
Smart move. You get to see how Catholic High comes out and lines up. Now you get to call a timeout to adjust. A little cat and mouse game.
They actually added 2 seconds to the clock too.
Well, that's a big difference there.
Yeah.
So if Catholic High wanted to throw the football
quickly,
then you could actually get the field goal team back out there.
Both teams huddling up. This one has lived up to the hype. Next week, St. Thomas More will begin district play against Westgate. 2 weeks from now, they have their big rivalry game against Turlings. Gabe Fertitta's team. They will be taking on East Ascension, a huge rivalry game. And speaking of rivalries, there might not be a better one in all of Louisiana. Lutcher and St. James. St. James is playing Assumption tonight.
Yeah.
Battle of undefeated teams. We saw the Mustangs pull off a miraculous win last week over Denham Springs.
Tight formation, going jumbo here.
Here's Parker, up and in. Touchdown, Bears. Now, let's see if they go for 2 to tie this thing up.
I don't know if that was a jump or a hurdle or what, but almost like he was kind of indecisive if he wanted to jump over or hurdle over, but I think, he's clearly up and over there, so good play. Just like you said, Jeff, going behind their trusted O-line.
Yeah, he got over.
Yeah, normally you kind of extend it out to ensure, but
I think they're going to go for 2. No, they got the field goal. Well, what do they got out there? I don't see a kicker out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of indecision here, but there's play clock's not running, so they're catching a break there.
I kind of like just keep kicking the extra points until you get towards the end of the game, and then you figure out what you need to do. You hate to leave another point on the table. I know you want to try to get it back tie at half, but it's going to be the end of the game that matters.
Bears took advantage of that interception. That was a huge play. Now they got to try to tie it with a 2-point conversion with 2 seconds left in the second quarter.
A little trickery here. Putting a Wildcat in here.
Yes, they are. Hart now has the football. He will do the Tim Tebow jump, and it's caught. Charles Barhorst makes the grab, and we're all tied up.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, we saw STM score on a little trickeration.
Yeah.
And now we see a 2-point conversion that's executed perfectly by the Bears.
Yeah, I felt like something was coming because you don't line a Wildcat quarterback up 10 yards deep. And so, that should have tipped you off right there. But the idea was that he could run towards the line of scrimmage and still have room to jump and throw the ball, but he was lined up awfully deep to be in the Wildcat quarterback position.
The only guy that doesn't like that play is Les Miles.
Yeah.
I think he still wakes up in the middle of the night watching that.
Man, what a play call. We've seen some very good play calls in this game.
And we're tied up at 21 apiece. You asked me, Jason, what do you think about tonight? I said going down to the last play. I called my shot.
Yeah.
And right now I'm looking pretty good.
That's a safe call. That's a safe call.
Now, when Denham was up by 18 last week, I did not think it was going down to the last play.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, squib this thing or whatnot, or kick it in the end zone. You just don't want to give the Cougars a chance to return another one right before the half.
Man, that interception by Joshua Robertson is huge.
And it was big. He plucked it out the air like a wide receiver.
All right, this is going to be returned from the 1. On the return here for this is Grant St. Cyr. Cyr running around like a madman, but nowhere to go forward, and that will do it.
Pretty good half.
Great first half from St. Thomas More High School between two of the best teams in the state. We're all tied up at 21 apiece. Two great coaches, two great schools, and two good teams just really locking horns here in week 5 of the high school football season.
2019 sideline sponsors for their support of Cougar football.
Well, we saw it all. Good offense, good defense, and thus a tie football game. It's going to be an exciting second half.
All right, Kate Adams has Gabe Fertitta. Let's send it down to the field.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Coach, what an amazing interception. Basically changed the end of the second quarter. Tell me how important that was for your team.
It was really big to get a stop. You know, I mean, they're really dynamic. So anytime you can get a stop, that's great. You can get a stop and get a turnover, change of possession. That's really changes the momentum of the game.
Well, it definitely did. Even Cougars defensive coordinator was like, do not let them score. They were not able to hold you guys. Just talk about what you like that you've seen from your team so far.
I mean, we're battling, you know. We've made some mistakes. We've taken some gambles, some that paid off, some that didn't. But we didn't come here to bring any of those kind of plays back with us to Baton Rouge.
Well, still 2 more quarters left of this game. What's going to be your message to the team at the half?
4 quarters times 12 minutes. That's Cur-Dog style football.
Awesome. Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Go Bears.
Gabe Fertitta and the Catholic High Bears on the road here tonight. And they have been playing hard, but so has St. Thomas More. High school football in Louisiana at its best.
Game Time Halftime is brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow cooked, fall off the bone perfection, and the best baked beans in America. Gary Lewis Property. From apartments, condominiums, and townhomes, Gary Lewis Properties is a top provider in Baton Rouge of residential and commercial property for rent. Monogram Express. We make ordinary gifts extraordinary. And by Louisiana Lift. And Louisiana Lift, we're always on call. Check out yourview.com for in-depth high school football coverage.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in, or takeout, and 2 great locations, Florida at Donmore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is, for a better life. And we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time League standings are brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com.
21-21 is our score at halftime between Catholic High and St. Thomas More. And as always here on our halftime of Game Time, we like to introduce you to our Scholar and Teachers of the Week. First of all, for the Catholic Bears, and Kate Adams has our winners this week.
All right, Jeff. Well, I've got Sean Jezik, our Teacher of the Week from Catholic High, and Connor Finucane, our Scholar of the Week for the Bears. I'm going to start with you, Sean. Sean, tell me about the classes that you teach.
Yeah, so I teach the psychology classes at Catholic High School. We have a regular psychology that's a semester long and an AP one this year long. Really excited about it. It's what the school for, so it's really good to be able to use that degree and teach that class. So.
Any cool psychology kind of type things you do with your students?
Oh yeah, we do all kind of mind control stuff with the kids all the time. Connor Finucane was one of the students in my class, and we do a lot of performance psychology, so a lot of the stuff that you see out on the field, guys are doing to control arousal, breathing, things like that, and they seem to really get into it. So.
Well, you also work with the Bears football team, correct? So are you giving them some mind control procedures for tonight's game?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you have a team like STM that's right here, you got to control everything that you do and be at your top game for them. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Sean, and congratulations. I'm going to move now over to Connor, actually committed to West Point right now. What's your favorite memory right now with Catholic High?
Going to the Superdome 2017, winning the state championship. That senior class was really special, and that senior class last year was also really special to be led by them. Even though the result wasn't what we wanted, it was a great process. I really love playing with them.
Well, obviously, you're doing a great job on the field, but also in the classroom because you're our Scholar of the Week. Tell me about your favorite class at Catholic.
Miss Patu's Calculus Honors class, one of the hardest things. Developed my work ethic, and I like Miss Patu. I like how she teaches.
So is math your favorite subject?
I guess so. I enjoy the class.
Any plans on what you might study when you're in college?
Probably kinesiology. Interested in that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to both our Teacher and Scholar of the Week, and thank you to Crown Trophy for providing both of our wonderful plaques. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Kate. And now it's time to learn more about one of our great sponsors here on Game Time, Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
My name is Louis Ballinger. I work for Livingston Parish Farm Bureau. I'm the agency manager. I've been in Livingston Parish for 9 years. I've been with Farm Bureau for about 15 years. I personally like to help out with the ladies sports at the high schools because I have 2 girls, 26 and 24. They're both very active in their high school sports, and we cooked a lot for their events. We try to bring that over to the high schools in Livingston Parish. I have some secret sausage ingredients from French Settlement, Louisiana, and that's a little local community in the southern part of the parish where we live, and I can't tell you anything else about it. I enjoy helping out in the community, as do the other agents in my office. Our agents born and raised in this area, they live in this area. We believe in helping out at the schools, fundraisers, teacher appreciation days, at any of the high schools whenever they need something. Trust Lou is what they call me in my home and community. I believe I'm a very dependable agent. I give all my customers and prospects my cell phone. I tell them to call me anytime, day or
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
The reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by ITI Technical College, your key to a better life. Check out the stories behind the games. Visit yourview.com/Louisiana.
Catholic High trying to figure out how they're going to slow down the St. Thomas More offense. But you know what? STM's trying to figure out the same thing, how they're going to try to slow down Catholic High's offense. We're all tied up at 21. Let's now send it down to the field and find out who our Scholar and Teacher of the Week is for St. Thomas More.
I have St. Thomas More Teacher of the Week, Shannon Phillips, as well as their Scholar of the Week, Elizabeth Noel. I'm going to start over here with Shannon. Shannon, tell me about what classes you teach over at St. Thomas More.
I'm a senior theology teacher, so I teach only seniors, and all of them have to go through my class to get out of STM. So it's a semester-long class, and we teach vocations and social justice.
Any fun projects you do with your senior class?
One of them is a semester-long project where the goal is to get them to do something good and beneficial to the community, something bigger than themselves.
Do you have an example of maybe one you did in the past years?
I've had students before serve at the diner and then notice that the men at the diner don't have takeaway containers, like leftover containers, so they buy them and then supply those so that the men can take leftovers for lunch the next day. So just simple little things, but noticing that people are in need in small ways.
Well, definitely important to always serve your community, so thank you and congratulations again. Going to move over to Elizabeth Noel, our Cougar Scholar of the Week. Elizabeth, you're a senior. Tell me about your favorite memory at St. Thomas More.
My favorite memory has to be probably the football games, to be honest. I know we're here and it seems like I have to say that, but it really is so much fun because we have such an involved student body and everyone, it's normal for a student to be involved in several different clubs. And so football games are a good time for us to all come together and celebrate as a student body.
Well, definitely memories that will last a lifetime. All right, you told me you were looking at a couple of colleges. Tell me about some of those colleges you're looking at and also what you are thinking about possibly studying.
Well, I'm looking at colleges out of state and in Louisiana. I like Tulane, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt. I haven't decided yet, but I hope to pursue a liberal arts education, and I have an interest in neuroscience.
Wow, well, that is definitely amazing. Thank you so much to both of you, and congratulations. Thank you to Crown Trophy for providing these plaques for both of our Teacher of the Week as well as our Scholar of the Week. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Kate. I appreciate it. And what a great job by our Scholars and Teachers of the Week. Now let's find out more from another great sponsor here on Game Time. That's Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Guys, this is Steve Wilson with Peak Performance Physical Therapy, and I run our Denham Springs location. But I'm lucky enough on Friday nights to be out here covering these local athletics. And a big question that's a hot button item right now is concussions. A lot of people make the misunderstanding of thinking that concussions only happen on the football field or a soccer field or in other athletics, and that's simply not the case. Concussions are actually much more common within the general population. A concussion is a direct or indirect hit that's a blow to the head that causes a mild traumatic brain injury and decreases overall brain function. But this can happen in everyday life by falling off a bicycle, getting in a car accident. Things like that happen all the time. Some symptoms to look out for if this has happened to you or anyone you know is simply to look for irritability, headaches, memory loss, visual issues or aspects that don't seem right. These are the kind of things you want to look out for, and you want to make sure that you immediately contact a healthcare professional, whether it's physical therapists, physicians, or someone else who is in the know about concussions. Get in contact with them so that they can give you a thorough evaluation. And if you need any more information, please.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that. For you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in or takeout, and 2 great locations, Florida Don Moore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Working with Governor Edwards to solve the budget crisis, we saw how truly bipartisan he is.
He brought members of both parties together to make the hard decisions
that turned a $2 billion deficit into a surplus.
2/3 of the Republican-led legislature voted to fund TOPS, save our hospitals, and raise teacher pay.
And Governor Edwards was willing to work with anyone committed to that goal.
He put people over politics.
And Louisiana is in a better place because of his leadership.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
21-21 is our score as St. Thomas More and Catholic High are all tied up. It was an action-packed 24 minutes of football. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. It got off to a quick start for the Catholic High Bears. Long touchdown pass. Jackson Thomas connecting with Jalen Toston, who gets behind the St. Thomas More secondary, and we were off to the races, Jason.
Yeah, this is the basically opening drive there. Catholic High strikes first, and here comes the Cougars right back with an awesome throw there by Holstein.
Yeah, Jack Besh getting into the end zone. Thomas over to Braylon Morgan. Nice little footwork there to get into the end zone. Holstein on the quarterback sneak. Then here's a little trickery.
Yeah, Catholic High had gone for it on 4th down, right around midfield, and this is the first play after the turnover on downs.
Holstein, though, an interception, and this turned the momentum in the game. Big interception by Bears sophomore Joshua Robertson, and that would set up on the final play, or second to final play of the first half, the touchdown run there by Parker. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at your first half stats and second half kickoff.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that. For you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine in or take out, and 2 great locations, Florida at Don Moore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Do you need to say great job, congratulations, or way to go? Crown Trophy on Sherwood Forest Boulevard in Baton Rouge has the trophy, plaque, acrylic, or crystal award you're looking for. Whether it's for your team, business, or church, come to Crown Trophy. We guarantee the highest level of customer service, and there's no charge for rush orders or trophy engraving. We're nationally known and locally owned. Visit us online to view our catalog at www.crowntrophy.com.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time Play of the Game is brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to serve you with auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, and more. Real service, real people.
Let's look at our first half stats. St. Thomas More only ran for 3 yards, but when you throw for 232, that kind of evens everything out. But how about total yards? Nearly even to match what we have on the scoreboard, 21-21. And again, the turnover at the end of the first half on the interception by Catholic High. That was a big play and allowed the Bears to tie the game before the two teams took some time off for halftime.
Yeah, and it's not showing up there, but I call the turnover battle even because Catholic High went for it on 4th down, their own territory, and turned it over on downs. And so that's why you have an even ball game right now.
We begin the second half. Week 5 of the high school football season. That ball gets into the end zone, and so the Cougars will start from their own 20-yard line. Caleb Holstein, 18 of 23 for 189 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Jack Besh put on a show for the Cougars. I don't know if they'll try to run the ball much. Again, Tobin Teveno is the starting running back for the Cougars. Noah Frederick was supposed to be the guy this year to replace what William Cryer did last year, which was average 11 yards a carry. But Frederick has been hurt for most of the season. Pass a little bit too high for Peyton Bro, and it's 2nd down and 10 on the first play from scrimmage for St. Thomas More.
Yeah, just not coming out of the locker room crisp. Again, that's like a running play for them. That's a high percentage pass play for Holston. They connect on that in the 90 percentile. Just missed it there and keeps you 2nd and long.
Quick pass out to the far side in the flat. There is Besh.
Man, he's
and he gets close to the 1st down marker, just shy by a couple of yards. In the game against Barr, Besh had 14 catches for 179 yards. As people know around here, his older brother, Tiger Besh, was one of the best to do it for STM. But I think he'll be better when it's all said and done. They run it on 3rd down and they get the 1st down. Wes Woodward on the tackle, along with Zach Bergeron, but not enough before STM moves the chains.
And the thing that makes Besh powerful, I mean, so good, is his power when he catches the ball. He's able to push and shed tacklers.
1st down and 10. Holstein gets a completion there and a pickup of about 6 or 7. Let's go down to Kate Adams, who had a chance to talk with Coach Jim Hightower of St. Thomas More.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, I caught up with Coach Hightower at the half, basically asked him, what was your message to the team at the half? What he told me was, we have got to stay in the game all 4 quarters. We still have 2 quarters left, and we cannot let up. Back to you guys.
Luke Howard on that last catch. And STM trying to run the ball a little bit more here in this half. Not much on that carry, as the Bears were all over it defensively. Christian Menino, one of the defenders there, as they gobbled up Tobin Teveno. And a 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Cougars. And Catholic jumps off sides, I believe. Yes, they did. That should be enough for a 1st down for STM.
Well, and that lets you know Holston is changing up the count back there because Catholic High has been guilty.
Number 90, 1st down.
Of this a couple times in the game already. They've jumped off, and we've seen them just give STM a 1st down. 5
penalties for Catholic High for 30 yards. Zach Bergeron, the guilty party. Back to the ground again. Here's Frederick. Frederick has the 1st down in the Catholic territory. And I know the Cougar fans love seeing number 8 run the football. Was tackled by Michael Chernowskis.
Well, and they wanted to be careful about how much they use Frederick, but again, you can see not a big guy, but knows how to run behind his pads, you know, the contact and moving forward.
From the 47, and now the left tackle, or actually Luke Howard, jumped, and that'll be 5 yards. That will cost STM.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 88 on the offense.
4 penalties for 30 yards for St. Thomas More. 1st down and 15, ball back into Cougar territory. To the ground they go again, almost the same play. Frederick has broken this one open all the way to the 23-yard line. And I wonder if Noah Frederick told the coaches, you know what, guys, I'm healthy. Give me the ball in the second half.
He said, how many rushing yards do we have? I'm up. So, you know, he got a chance to kind of watch the first half, got involved in a few plays, but that's been by far St. Thomas More's most successful run play of the game. And you get a look at his vision and then his burst at the end.
They faked the handoff to him that time, and Swing pass out to Robichaux, and very close to the first down marker.
We've never known this Cougar offense to run the ball to open up the pass, but obviously you start getting Frederick going, and this pass game gets right back going.
Picks up 7, 2nd and 3 for Holstein and the Cougars. Inside the ITI Technical College red zone. Frederick to the right of Holstein. Holstein 6'5", Frederick just 5'6". Frederick gets another carry. And this kid is tough to stop. He drags tacklers into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Thomas More.
Well, if there was any question about whether or not Noah Frederick is healthy, I think you just got your answer on this drive, because he was the catalyst. He's really put the life back into this St. Thomas More offense here, and just bouncing off of tackles, running through them, and just showing his power there and getting into the end zone. Can't imagine anything still being wrong with him after a run like that.
Frederick suffered a high ankle sprain in the season opening win over Holy Cross. Coach Jim Hightower told me before the game, not sure what we're going to get out of him. I talked with offensive coordinator Shane Savoie, and he said he looks good in pregame warm-up. Well, what a second half for him as Noah Frederick gets into the end zone for the second time this season, and the Cougars have a 7-point lead. Catholic High gets the ball when we come back. Don't go away. This is Game Time on Yearview.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that. For you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Noah Frederick on that drive, 3 carries for 47 yards. Came into the contest with just 74 yards rushing because of missing several games with the ankle sprain, but he looked really good on that drive, and STM has a 7-point lead. DC Stemmons with the kick. It will be returned from the 5-yard line. Braylon Morgan. And he almost broke that one. He got really close to it, but then he was grabbed by Josh Stevenson, I believe, and that's prevented a long run there from Braylon Morgan.
And the reason I think St. Thomas More wanted to be careful with Noah Frederick and bringing him back is, you know, this is not as much as they want to win this football game, and they didn't win it last year, but it's not district play, and, and it's not the heart of the season for them. And so high ankle sprain, you don't want to bring him back too early. Something else happened, and you don't have him at the crux and the meat of the season you need him for.
Good mix between run and pass on the ITI technical drive. And Jackson Thomas back to the air, and there's Braylon Morgan moving the chains for the Bears.
Dan, Braylon Morgan has been all over in this football game. We've seen him on kickoff returns. We've seen him play some running back. And then now you've seen him catch a few balls out there at the wideout position. It's kind of like the Alvin Kamara for this offense.
Yeah, Coach Gabe Fertitta calls him their Swiss Army knife. He'll even cover kicks. 1st and 10 at the 46. Thomas will give it to Josh Parker. Parker got ankle tackled at the 50-yard line. Still a 5-yard run. Hunter Cambray on the tackle.
Catholic High going quick.
Parker running straight ahead, now cuts it to the outside. Good open field tackle for St. Thomas More. Keeps him from getting the first down, but he's close.
And he was clearly looking to break that one, because if he had kept it going north and south, probably would have picked up the first down. But right there, he's trying to get outside and break it open for a big one, but a good open field tackle there.
I believe that was Grant St. Cyr who had 8 tackles in that win over Neville and 6 pass breakups. 3rd down and 1, and the fans back on their feet. The Bears are 5 of 8 on 3rd downs. Making a lot of noise here with the football at the 45. Thomas will keep it, fouls his blockers, and he's got a first down. Cole Miller was in front of him, created enough of a hole, and the Bears keep moving the chains.
Well, and they're showing, Catholic High showing their confidence with Thomas running the football. He's had a couple short yardage situations, and Thomas has kept it and able to pick up the first down.
Thomas, even though this is his first year starting, he started some games as a sophomore and a junior when Cameron Dartez suffered some injuries. Dartez was such a physical runner. He would get banged up as the season would go on. Quick pass, and moving up the field quickly is the receiver, Shelton Sampson, who's getting some extra playing time tonight with the injury of Solomon Singleton, who's not out there.
And he looks good, just a freshman. This kid's going to grow into something, as you can see. Got good size on him, got good speed, kind of long and rangy there, and just a freshman on the football field.
It's very hard for a freshman to crack the varsity lineup. The first guy to ever do it, or at least in recent time for Catholic High, of course, was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Staying on his feet, and a hard run here from Braylon Morgan. And he picks up 5 to the 24-yard line.
Well, Catholic High kind of just imposing their will on this drive. As we mentioned, both of these teams can do it in multiple ways, through the air, on the ground, and ironically, we saw the last drive, St. Thomas More do their damage on the ground, and now here's Catholic High coming right back and having success running the football as well.
2 wide receivers in this set. Sampson, a wide receiver, to the bottom of your screen. Barhorst in motion. He caught a 2-point conversion at the end of the second quarter. And they'll go, nope, they're going to throw the football here. And it's caught. Another first down for the Bears as they're inside the 15. There is Shelton Sampson, a freshman making some plays out here tonight. 6'3", 170 pounds.
Yeah, and again, coming up with some clutch catches. Solomon Singleton couldn't go tonight, so that allows Sampson to step in and get some more playing time, and next man up and taking advantage of his playing time.
11-yard reception. Let's go down in the field, and Kate Adams.
Well, I'm grabbing LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine right this second. Eddie, I just want to talk to you a little bit about sportsmanship, something that the LHSAA is trying to push right now. Tell me how important sportsmanship is.
Well, it's part of the game. We need to make sure that the student athletes, as well as the coaches, officials, are taking a good, strong stance on the sportsmanship, whether it be on the sidelines, on the fields. And that also goes over to when we talk about fan behavior, and we're going to discuss that sometime next week as well. But overall, this evening, it's been outstanding here.
Well, you've been on the sidelines watching the game. Actually, a fun fact, participation is up right now in football. Talk about how important that is.
Well, for the LHSA and for Louisiana, other states around the United States has some decline in participation in football, not Louisiana. We're staying good with participation for the sport.
Well, a lot of fall sport championships coming up for this year. You've got cross country, swimming, volleyball, as well as football. What are you looking forward to most?
Well, handing out some trophies. You know, it's at that time of year, and it's exciting that all the other sports and right now we're excited about what the future holds for us.
All right, Eddie. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Okay, thank you.
Guys.
Eddie Bonine, LHSA Executive Director, taking this game in, and as us who have traveled in from Baton Rouge, it was not easy to get here tonight. Thomas throwing the football. What a move by, another great move by Morgan, all the way down to the 2-yard line.
I tell you what, This guy is shifty. He's got some moves with him. But I know he wants to finish one of these, not stop at the 2 or the 1 yard line. But I tell you what, good job just getting there. Boom, good spin move, and then another little stop move, and gets the guy knocking on the door.
Again, he broke a tackle from a sure tackler in Grant St. Cyr. So now the Bears 2 yards away from getting back into the end zone and making this a 1-point game. Thomas under center, and here we go again. A little wildcat action. George Hart will take the snap. Last time he did this, he did the Tim Tebow jump. This time he'll run straight ahead, and the Cougars stop him.
Yeah, might have lost a yard in there. That's had a lot of motion, a lot of movement, and Hart gets in the wildcat and sends another man in motion, and really just, a lot of window dressing to run the football from the wildcat position, trying to fool the Cougars there.
Lost about a half a yard as they're inside the ITI Technical College red zone. Thomas and Parker in the backfield. Grisafi in motion. Thomas will look to run, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears.
Good decision there by Thomas. I thought he might try to force it in there on a small window, but probably could have even taken off with this football a little bit earlier. But just a good decision there. Had real estate in front of him, and knowing you're going to take the big thump down there at the goal line and just having the toughness to hold on to that football.
Big extra point try coming up here from Kylan Dupree. Catholic missed an extra point earlier tonight. Had to go for 2 at the end of the second quarter, but Dupree's extra point is good that time. 28-28, 4:34 left to go in the third quarter. More coming up on Game Time.
Here in Louisiana, we play to win every single game. Under John Bell Edwards, our economy ranks dead last in America.
Eddie Risponi will win back lost jobs, reverse the Edwards tax hikes, and blitz trial lawyer control and corruption.
Louisiana shouldn't settle for last place in anything. I'm Eddie Risponi. First is where we belong. It's time to lead the South in football and in jobs.
Eddie Risponi for governor.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines, along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
A look at our scoring drive brought to you by ITI Technical College. Jackson Thomas, the 2-yard touchdown run, his 4th of the season, to tie this football game up. Sky kick, it's going to go out of bounds, though. I don't think that's what they intended to do.
No, tried to fool him there, and a little quick squib kick, and didn't work.
Kirk Ferentz has done it again with 4 straight recruiting classes in the 40s. The Iowa Hawkeyes are ranked in the top 15 heading into a monster matchup against number 19 Michigan. What's the secret to Iowa's success? We turn to ESPN's Tom Van Haren for answers. Tom also discusses whether recruits are still all aboard the Jim Harbaugh Recruiting Express. Plus, we preview the great slate of games this week on Yearview, including big matchups in Oklahoma and Arizona. All that and more on this week's episode of Over the Middle Podcast. I think I'm off the Jim Harbaugh train.
Well, he's going to have to learn like LSU. If you want to play college football, you're going to have to open up your offense.
Well, there's nothing happening on that carry as they try to go back to Noah Frederick. But now the Bears have made the necessary adjustment, shut him down at least on that play. For Catholic High, the defender was Patrick DeLotte, their outstanding linebacker. 2nd down and 12. Holstein caught. How many times do you think they've run that play?
It's
a little out pattern to Peyton Bro. They do that in their sleep.
I bet you could put blindfolds on both of them, and they could still do that. I mean, this is just timing, and watch how fast he gets it out, and it's just on the mark. And you know, you may say, oh, it's a little dink and dunk. No, that's 9 yards. You know, I mean, that's a big play.
On 2nd and 11, makes it 3rd down and 1. Low snap, Holstein, wide open, Besh, 1st down, up to the 50-yard line. In on the stop for the Bears, Michael Chernoskis. Fusilier there too defensively for the Bears at the 50-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 4 touchdowns apiece in this contest. Holstein, another completion, another 1st down. Carter Domingue, who threw a touchdown pass, grabs that one for about 15, 16 yards.
And part of why they can make these completions, the far side defensive back for Katakai is playing 7, 8 yards off. And normally you think, okay, well, most quarterbacks can't make that throw across the field, but Holston can do it and hit him in stride.
Teveno back in at running back, gets about 5. Christian Menino with the tackle.
And then look, St. Thomas More is they'll take the underneath stuff. If you give it to them, they will take it all night and march down the field. And then if you begin to press them, you know, they got some receivers that can stretch the field too. They'll take some shots.
On 2nd and 5, they go back to the ground. And more great running room here for Teveno. And he's going to get it to the end zone. A missed tackle right around the 10-yard line, and the junior running back scores to make it 34-28, St. Thomas More.
Well, again, both of these schools now, the Cougars are showing you they can beat you through the air or on the ground, and look, it's not happenstance. But when the Cougars start having success in the air, then obviously that running game begins to open up. We saw Noah Frederick on the last drive. This time we see Teveno making some good moves and getting into the end zone.
DC Stemmons on for the extra point. And it's through. Another look at this touchdown from Tobin Teveno.
Yeah, just right off the left side there, and you know, kind of fooled Katakai a little bit, but here's just Teveno making something happen, spinning off tacklers and getting into the end zone.
Smart runner who, once he finds his spot through the line of scrimmage, boy, does he hit that hole quickly. And now it's going to be up to Catholic High to respond after the 29-yard touchdown run from Teveno. His long on the season is 41.
And look, this Cougar offense is reading that. So if you're going to take some people out of the box and you're going to move them more into the secondary, trying to slow this passing game down, St. Thomas More will take the running game. If you give it to them, they will absolutely run the football, and they can do that.
Between these two schools, St. Thomas More and Catholic, they have won 3 state championships since 2015. St. Thomas More got theirs in 2016, the first for legendary coach Jim Hightower. And St. Thomas More took it to Parkview Baptist that day. Avenged the loss to Parkview Baptist the prior year as they beat the Eagles 54-29. What a moment for St. Thomas More. Last year they got back to the state championship game and they played a great game against U High, but the Cubs were just too talented. And U High won that game 55-46. Holstein against almost an SEC defense that U High put out there, threw for 410 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And they fought hard, but U High might have beat the 49ers last year. So, I mean, they fought hard in that game.
15-yard penalty on Catholic after the extra point. So they just boot that one out of the back of the end zone. And the Bears now will have to try to respond. Look at the ITI scoring drive. We've had plenty of them tonight. Teveno gets into the end zone. One turnover in the game Man, you get the feeling the way these two teams are trading touchdowns. The next turnover, whoever commits it, that might decide the game.
It could, or like you said, coming down to the last play and whoever has the ball last.
Swing out to Braylon Morgan with a head of steam. But Jacob Trahan and the rest of the Cougars brings him down after a gain of about 5.
Boy, Trahan, when he comes to you, he is trying to hit you, man. He's not trying to tackle you by the shoestring. He's coming up and he's bringing a load with him.
Good tackler, very versatile player.
Gain of 6.
Good football smarts. Does Trahan. Parker Hart off the left side. He's got the first down up to the 33-yard line. There's Trahan on another stop for STM.
Well, and he plays all over the place, almost Rover-esque. As you see there, Josh Parker is having a good night, solid night. He's run the ball well, and we saw him where he kind of tweaked a knee or an ankle, but able to get back into the football game.
Catholic averaging 41 points a game. They're going to need to score that, maybe a little bit more to win here tonight. Thomas rolling to his left. Cougars do a good job getting around the receiver, Sam Etheridge, who caught it. Stopped him shy of the first down, but second down and 2 after the 8-yard pass play.
Yeah, and that's the key to both of these offenses, what you're able to do on first down. Now, you're able to pick up 8-9 yards on first down. Your entire playbook is open on second and short. You can take a shot, you can pick up another first down. That's when you get these defenses on their heels.
Morgan makes a nice cut and now shows the ability to break tackles and shows that burst of speed to the 41-yard line. I think that's been the key for both teams tonight, as you just saw an 18-yard run from Morgan, is the success they've had on first down. You mentioned that in the first half, but there have been a lot of 2nd and 2s, a lot of 2nd and 3s, and both of these defenses have not been able to attack because they don't know what's coming.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you want to keep it in front of you. And Braylon Morgan, you know, coach thinks he's 200 pounds. I'll tell you what, he runs strong.
Thomas wants it all to Toaston. Caught it. Touchdown, Bears.
Wow.
Second touchdown catch of the night. This one 41 yards, and we're 1 point away from a tie game.
Well, and there you go. I mean, you know, first down, you take your shot. And I tell you what, Toaston has made some. He's impressing me. We've talked a lot about Besh for the Cougars, but I'll tell you what, Toaston, you know, in that first series caught a big deep ball. This ball, I mean, it wasn't like he just had to run under it. He had to go make a play on the football, and this shows you how he can pinpoint the ball in the air and go and snatch it.
4 catches for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's not a bad stat line.
He came in with just 6 catches on the season. A guy looks like Jerry Rice out there tonight.
Yeah, look, this was, I mean, Thomas got the ball out there, but this was not an easy catch. I mean, the defensive back had pinpointed this football. Toaston just went up there and took it.
And the student section from Catholic High, they're going hunting here tonight with the camouflage. The Bears have won a couple of state championships here in recent history, 2015. And then also in 2017, both of the state championships unexpected. This was the 2017 title game where the Bears defeated John Curtis, an upset, that's for sure. Patriots were expected to win this game. Colin Guggenheim was playing with a broken thumb, and the Bears, in Gabe Fertitta's first season, wins the state championship. Big hug from former football coach Dale Weiner, who still teaches at Catholic High. And I'm sure Dale tonight is watching the Dunham Tigers play, and his son Neil Weiner. but getting score updates on this one.
I'm sure. Keeping a watch on this, and it's been a good game.
Gabe Fertitta, what a job he has done as you look at another ITI Technical College scoring drive. So much speculation, Jason, about who would be the guy to replace Dale Weiner. And kind of right moment, right time, right, for Gabe Fertitta.
That's absolutely right.
He came back to be offensive coordinator, his second stint. And when he took the job as offensive coordinator, it wasn't like he was thinking he'd be the coach in waiting. Nice job by Holstein to move.
No, and you had other coaches around the area who were having a lot of success that went to Catholic High, and in Brewerton and Zachary, and obviously Neil Weiner, coach. There's a lot of speculation. So
7-yard pass play. We were tied at halftime. We're tied at the end of the third quarter. Will we be tied at the end of regulation? We'll find out. 12 more minutes to go here on Game Time.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine in or take out, and 2 great locations, Florida at Donmore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Fourth quarter, beginning at St. Thomas More High School. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuare, Kate Adams. As we're all tied up at 35, the Cougars have established the running game in the second half, and Noah Frederick back into Bears territory as we get underway with the final 12 minutes of this one. Noah Frederick coming back from an injury, running hard. He'll need to take a breather, though, after that run.
Well, and St. Thomas More had just a few rushing yards at the half, but I tell you what, they have picked it up here on the ground game in the second half, and both Tevino and Noah Frederick have been a tag team punch.
And they've liked running the football to the right side.
Well, and I think it's a lot of this is just what Catholic High has given them. They're playing off a little bit. They don't want these receivers to get behind them. I think they're trying to force St. Thomas More to methodically drive down the field, and St. Thomas More is just taking it.
2nd and 5. Ball batted, or I thought it was batted at the line of scrimmage. He whipped that thing through it so fast. My eyes were playing tricks on me.
You just heard it whizzing. That wasn't a bat. It is amazing. I mean, it's a thing of beauty to watch him get this ball out so fast and it's so crisp.
I thought Finucane would get a hand on that thing when it released his hand. I anticipated the batted pass, but you're right. He's got so much zip on the football.
Yeah, if Finucane had touched that, he'd had a broken finger, brother.
1st and 10. Cougars marching the football again. It's been a broken record here tonight. Holstein from a clean pocket. Besh gets crushed. Catches the football anyways.
Man.
Jack Besh, 1st and goal for St. Thomas More.
These two are something else. I mean, this Holstein is just, the placement of this ball in this window is just perfect. I mean, it's just 3 defenders around, and he just threads that thing in there like a dart.
Now out to flat. Trying to get in there. Did he get in there? Peyton Bro, touchdown Cougars. They regained the lead early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that didn't take long.
No, it didn't.
And that's what you got to worry about when you kind of in this St. Thomas More offense. I mean, when they are clicking and in rhythm like this, there's nobody that can stop them. I mean, this is just precision.
And Joshua Robertson, who had that big interception at the end of the first half, he was in position to make a tackle there on Bro, but just couldn't do it. And for Peyton, first time he gets into the end zone this season.
And when you get the running game going along with the passing game, I mean, it's already difficult to stop, but it just becomes almost impossible.
It's why they almost averaged nearly 60 points a game last year with William Cryer as their running back, averaging 11 yards a carry. 42-35. Catholic's offense has to respond when we come back.
Tonight's Game Time Play of the Game is brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow cooked, fall off the bone perfection, and the best baked beans in America.
They say politics changes people, but don't tell that to John Bell Edwards. He's led our state through a budget crisis and natural disasters, expanded health care for working people, invested in students and teachers, and grew our economy. Through it all, he served with honesty and integrity, never losing sight of what's important or compromising who he is. He's still John Bell, still one of us.
Tonight's Game Time League standings are brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com.
Peyton Bro gets into the end zone in the ITI Technical College scoring drive. 6 plays, 80 yards, took less than 2 minutes. Another touchdown pass for Holstein. Last year, the final score, St. Thomas More lost to Catholic 53-42. Right now, STM's got that 42 again. Can they somehow keep Catholic from scoring another touchdown the way it's going tonight? It's doubtful, but we'll see. On the squib kick, taken from the 10. And Josh Parker, a nice return out to the 39.
Well, that's double trouble back there with the return guys. I mean, who do you kick it to, Parker or Braylon?
On the tackle.
I might kick it out of bounds. Take my chances.
Yeah, you are.
Sky kicks or something. Well, STM has not forced a turnover here tonight. This would be a good time to do so. A turnover by STM late in the first half changed the momentum in this game, and it's been back and forth since that point. 4 down linemen for the Cougars. Parker will run right at that line, a big hole. Can anyone catch him? Forget about it. Parker into the end zone, 1 play.
Wow. Wow.
61 yards.
Well, Jeff, I used to play a game back in the day called Take My Ball. And you couldn't stop anybody on that game. And I'll tell you what, that's sort of like what we got going on here. I mean, just 1 play from the line of scrimmage, and Josh Parker is able to cut it outside and just use his speed. Man, this is incredible. What a shootout.
Not his longest run of the season. He had a 92-yard run earlier this year. But Catholic will take that one right there. And we're all tied up with under 10 minutes to go. Wow.
And now I know Catholic has defense is saying, weren't we just out on the field? I mean, when do we get a break?
That was too easy for Parker. Credit that offensive line again for Catholic High. Wow, these kids are going to be exhausted heading back over to Atchafalaya Basin. This has been something else to watch. These two teams, and you knew it coming in. There was no way, with how good these offenses are and how well they execute, as good of defenses we have here tonight in Catholic and STM, they just couldn't keep up. In today's day of whether you watch high school, college, or NFL, when you got an offense that is running as with much precision as these two offenses are, you don't have a chance. And if you can't get pressure on the opposing court, the only time these defenses have really had any success stopping these offenses is with a sack somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Negative plays, but we've had very few. Maybe you can count them on one hand, the amount of negative plays in this game.
Well, and I'm going to ask our statistician, Tommy, over here, are we approaching the 1,000-yard mark of offense?
Not yet, huh? He says not yet.
Because we had over right at 500 at the half, so I know we got to be getting up there.
Josh Stevenson on the return.
It'll bring up 1st and 10.
22-yard line here for St. Thomas More.
9:48 remaining in the 4th period of this non-district Catholic high school matchup.
Holstein back to work.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, that's just...
Tiger Besh, or excuse me, I knew I was going to do that sometime tonight. Jack Besh made one guy miss and then got to the 30.
It's like your parents, Tiger, Jack, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. You. But I mean, that's just too easy. I mean, if you're going to stay 8-9 yards off, they're going to take that every time.
2nd and 3.
Second and 3. To the ground, Teveno. Little juking moves there, gets about 5 before the Bears finally stop its forward progress. A flag flies late. That's the last thing you need in a game like this tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to give it up the cheap way. Shaheen came in and really laid a blow there, number 10 for Catholic High, but I mean, his blow seemed clean. I didn't see where the late hit may have come in. Usually that's what it is when you see a scrum like that.
We haven't seen many 15-yard penalties here tonight.
Personal foul, 72 on the offense. Still first down.
Yeah, a lot of times those offensive linemen, they see people, on that scrum and trying to come in there and clean it off, and that's what he was trying to do, is push people off the pile. Hey, get off my guy, but you can't do that. A lot of times those refs, they'll flag that stuff as after the fact.
That's Wyatt Krieger, and again, since it happened after the play, it just pushes you back 15 yards. It's still first down and 10 because they had picked up the first down and the play was dead. Holstein feeling a little pressure up the middle, going deep. Oh, what an unbelievable almost catch. I thought he was going to get it.
I thought he had it too, and he laid out for this thing and just couldn't control it before the ground knocks it loose. But look at that ball spinning in the air.
Oh.
And I mean, that is a perfect pass.
I tell you, if you ask Jack Besh, he thinks he should have had that one.
I know he's going to be upset with himself. But you got to just forget about it, get back in the huddle, and go make another play.
Flag flies, illegal procedure. I don't think STM was set. This will make it 2nd and 15.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense.
All right, if you're Bears defensive coordinator, Deuce Harrison, you say, okay, now we got a chance here.
Yeah, this is our opportunity. And the thing is normally STM likes the quick passing game. So Holstein may hold on to it a little bit longer because he's got more yards to pick up. He can't just do the 5 or 7 yard hitches here. He's got to make up quite a few yards.
Noah Frederick, the running back, to his left.
They didn't bring any pressure here.
Over the middle, and it was intercepted, or did it hit the ground? It hit the ground. Chernauskas nearly had his 3rd interception of the year.
Well, and they let Holstein sit in the pocket, elect not to bring any pressure, fires it over the middle, and
tough to tell.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Yeah, hit the ground. Great call. Good camera work. Man, our guys are on top of it.
They've been on top of it all year long. So 3rd and 15. Neither offense has been stopped yet in the second half. Could it happen here? Holstein has time. There's the completion. And staying on his feet is Besh. First down, Cougars.
Wow.
What a run after the catch from Jack Besh.
Again, I keep saying it all night, but both number 6 and number 7, they're fearless. They're fearless. Holstein had a bad throw the play before, but he comes back and throws right into the middle of the field, back up in your own territory, and gets it into Besh, and then Besh just does what he does. He sheds tacklers, tough runner, and picks up the first down.
29 yards. Back to the ground. And the Bears defense shuts it down after a 2-yard run.
You know, this STM offense is already scary, but when you get a healthy Luke Howard back and you got Besh out there and you got a healthy Noah Frederick, Jeff, they'll be back up doing 50, 60 points a game without any question.
2-yard run. Bergeron in on the tackle. And Howard, for the second time, moves prematurely, and now will back the Cougars up again.
Prior to the snap. False start. Offense. Number 88.
STM has had 3 penalties on this drive, and they now have 7 penalties on the night for 55 yards. Up and up the hands of the receiver, Howard. Almost a tip drill.
Yeah, I guess he was going to Howard. He actually had Arsenault more open than Howard, number 1, and just, I guess he elected to check it down a little bit, but he had Arsenault right behind him, wide open.
Easton Fuselier on the coverage, another 3rd and long.
Yeah, big down here for the Cougars. Yeah, you just get the sense that you don't want to be the first team to blink. You don't want to be the first team in this second half that has to punt the football.
6 of 8 on 3rd down is St. Thomas More. Besh is the wide receiver in the lower corner of your screen. They're looking in his direction. Wide open, 1st down and more. That's Courtney Arsenault. The ball pops out, and guess who's there? Oh, wait, there's still a scramble for it. I thought Besh was going to get it. It is Catholic High football. They forced their 2nd turnover of the night.
I gotta take a look at this. It was so close to the sideline. Our vantage point was blocked by the sideline, but let's see. Here comes the blow right here. Helmet on the football. That was done well. Ball stays in bounds. Yeah, he missed the opportunity to recover the football there for the Cougars.
Connor Stewart popped that thing out of there.
That's a good job going for the ball, and right there, you would think Besh had a shot to come up with that, and just unable to come up with the fumble. And like you said, you don't want to be the first team to blink, and now there's the turnover. Catholic High with the football, trying to go up in the football game.
In a game like this, very hard to win it when you're -2 in the turnover margin. And Jackson Thomas running hard towards the STM sidelines. He has a 1st down. St. Thomas More came in with a +2 turnover margin. That's evaporated now on the season after coughing it up twice here tonight. At the 48. Parker right up the middle. And here he goes again. He's got a blocker in front of him. Parker putting on the Jets. He gets tripped up at the 16.
Wow, what did he run for? Almost 200 yards in the game last year, and here he is.
He's starting to get hot.
Yes, he is, and he's definitely over that 100-yard mark. And here he is. It's just, you know, he gets in the middle, and then he always finds a way to bounce off tacklers and get it to the outside, and another 36-yard rip there.
From the 16 for the Bears. Parker out of the ball game momentarily. Braylon Morgan now in the backfield with Thomas. It's Morgan's turn. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. Bryce Bouillon, the leading tackler for the Cougars last season, gets behind the line of scrimmage to make a tackle.
That's what you need on 1st down. You got to have either a negative play or a play for minimal gain to now force, you know, the Bears into a 2nd and long down here. Just got to tighten up. You made the turnover, but you can bend. You just can't break down here.
2nd down and 10. 12 seconds on the play clock. Quick pass to Morgan. Morgan got a blocker. Morgan gets angled out of bounds, shy of the 1st down by a yard.
Yeah, they can get another 1st down here. Don't have to get it in the end zone. And it's going to be 3rd and short.
Hydration timeout comes at a good time for both of these teams. The Bears on the doorstep. They have not had the lead since the first half. They got an opportunity to take it here. They got a third down coming up with 5:55 left to go in this football game. Jim Hightower has been in some great games, and so has Gabe Fertitta. This is turning out to be a memorable one here tonight. Well, this is a terrific game. Let's take a look at the second half of our schedule here on Game Time. Next week, a big rivalry game between Lutcher and St. James. Then on October 18th, we head to New Orleans for De La Salle in West Florida. Madison Prep and U-High should be a terrific game on the 25th. So should the game November 1st, Holy Cross and Brother Martin. And we wrap it all up in the regular season as we head up to Zachary and get to see the two-time defending 5A champion Broncos face the Walker Wildcats and Chad Mahaffey. Terrific football still to come here on Game Time. Third down and 2. Let's see what the Bears do here. I think Josh Parker wants the football. I don't want to disappoint Mr. Parker. I would give him the football. I don't think they were set, or something looked really weird about that. Too many guys in the backfield or something.
It looked like it was going to be a design run for Thomas.
Prior to the snap, number 19 was never set on the offense.
The play did not look good anyway, so it may kind of work out in Kathakai's favor, but you never want that kind of pre-snap penalty coming out of a timeout.
6 of 9, the Catholic Bears on third down. St. Thomas More bench imploring their crowd to make some noise. Thomas steps up, fires, complete. This is Tostin trying to fight for the end zone. He doesn't get there, but he is stopped at the 3. It's a first down for the Bears.
Boy, Tostin has just come up with some huge catches at just critical points in the game. And here's another 3rd and long. And good move there, and just coming up with another nice catch, making a good target there for his quarterback.
On 1st and goal, they run it towards the end zone, and getting stopped short was Thomas. Inside the 1. They quickly get back to the line of scrimmage. No messing around. Bears looking for their first lead since the first half. And now what do we have?
Looked like another maybe false start here.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 71.
We've seen this a lot this year. We've played in a lot of hot conditions this year, Jason, and as the game wears on, we start seeing a lot of these 5-yard penalties really pop up in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and you start going so fast and trying to play tempo, and you forget, hey, I got to wait for the back to go in motion and just movement a little too soon.
7th penalty of the night for the Bears, backs them up to the 6th. Anybody open? Someone is, but not even close to the first down or to the end zone. Grant St. Cyr on the tackle, quickly brought down Michael Grazaffi, and here's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, this is a big play for this Cougar defense right here. If you can keep them out of the end zone here, and obviously not anything around the yard and a half territory, I think Kathakaii would be forced to kick a field goal.
The student section for St. Thomas More making all kinds of noise. They're down at that end of the field.
Split backfield. A lot of times, Kathakaii will send one of the backs in motion, as you can see it right there.
The lob, back shoulder, touchdown Bears.
Who else?
Tostin does it again.
Who else? This guy's just showing up, and I'll tell you what, this is a great throw. I thought Thomas had actually thrown this ball out of bounds from where I was sitting here. I said, man, that's wide, but Tostin comes back, and that's just look, that's timing. That's beautifully placed. And, you know, Tostin, again, I just told you, coming up with big catch after big catch at critical points in this football game.
Third touchdown catch of the night for Tostin. He had one all season long. And it's 49-42 with just over 4 minutes to go. Can the Bears win for the 5th consecutive time over St. Thomas More? Caleb Holstein and the Cougars will have something to say when we come back.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Here in Louisiana, we play to win every single game. Under John Bell Edwards, our economy ranks dead last in America.
Eddie Risponi will win back lost jobs, reverse the Edwards tax hikes, and blitz trial lawyer control and corruption.
Louisiana shouldn't settle for last place in anything. I'm Eddie Risponi. First is where we belong. It's time to lead the South in football and in jobs.
Eddie Risponi for governor.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time Play of the Game is brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to serve you with auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, and more. Real service, real people.
Instant classic brewing here at St. Thomas More. The Bears have taken their first lead since the first half. 2 turnovers here for Catholic High's defense. That has been the difference in this game right now. This kick will get into the end zone, and St. Thomas More, with 3 timeouts and 4:09 left to go, down by 7.
Well, now, believe it or not, the pressure is on this Cougar offense a little bit. 4 minutes left. You're down by 7. You know you got to get some points up here. You got to score, get some points up on this drive. And you can see Coach Hightower. He's been, like you said, he doesn't change his demeanor. He doesn't get up. He doesn't get down. He's even kill. But he knows he needs something out of his offense.
Quick pass. Nice little move there, and first down. Good run after the catch for Peyton Bro, who's got a touchdown catch tonight. 13 yards on the first play of this drive.
And the other thing that you're emphasizing to your offense is protect the football. You cannot afford a turnover. Protect the football.
We have a Bear player who was trying to get off the field, could not. He goes crumbling down to the ground, and a stoppage in play. And might have some cramping issues here, finally erupting. Both of these teams really well conditioned. That might be more of an ankle injury than cramping. We haven't, considering how hot it is tonight, Jason. I mean, it was hot early in the year, and this is about as hot as it's been in a while.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had some hot games, but tonight it was scorching on that field earlier tonight.
Yeah, that's Robertson down. The guy came up with the big interception. And you're right. The other thing, too, is in addition to the temperature, I mean, they just play at such a fast pace. I mean, you're never getting a chance to rest because the game just keeps moving. It's not like, oh, we go huddle up and milk the play clock down. These teams get the ball and go.
They're going to have to help the sophomore Joshua Robertson off the field. Again, Catholic has had to put some sophomores out there because of injuries. They're without Bo Bacchus. That's a guy that they really count on. See number 82 there. That's Solomon Singleton, not playing tonight, but still trying to help out any way he can. He's carrying the water bucket over there from the 33-yard line.
Let's go. We need this.
Teveno following his blockers. Finucane, the tackle, but another big play on first down, and that's enough to get the chains moving for St. Thomas More.
And I like the play call. Look, you're down by a touchdown, but you don't need to press. You don't need to throw it down the field every play. You still have time to get your run game going, use your full offense, and kind of keep this Bear defense on their heels.
That's just the 29th first down of the night for St. Thomas More. 29 first downs, my goodness. Holstein, catch on the near sidelines, gets a foot in bounds for sure. Does Peyton Bro, who's had a big second half, another first down, make it 30 first downs for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's more than all the teams we've had in the first 4 games collectively. But here again, just precision. Precision. I'm running out of words to describe the way he throws the football.
Well, Teveno runs hard here. There might be a face mask there, but I guess they didn't call it. He didn't grab it, maybe. 8-yard run for Teveno. Finucane on another tackle for the Bears, going both ways. Number 50. What a soldier out there.
Yeah, it tells you about his condition.
Second down and 2. Back to the ground. Teveno making some nice cuts.
Wow. These backs, I mean, they're so impressive because you're used to thinking of a running back as somebody, 5'7", 5'9", and 190 pounds. They're smaller. They don't look like your typical running back, but they get it done. As you see, Finucane got shaken up there, needing to come off for at least a play.
Yeah, he won't be gone long. Well, 2:07 here, Jason. You don't want to score too quickly, right?
Yeah, well, in this game, this could be 4 possessions in 2 minutes. The way this thing's going, you've had a couple 1 or 2 play drives in this game.
Noah Frederick to his left. Holstein rips one over there at completion to the 11. Oh boy, Peyton Bro is having himself a 4th quarter. Another big catch.
Yeah, he's stepping up, and look, you take one receiver away, you're focusing on Besh, come back, and we'll get you with our other guys, and that's Peyton Bro, as you mentioned, doing a great job in this second half.
A lot of defenders with their hands on their hips. Gabe Fertitta calls a timeout, and he might want the football back before this one goes into regulation too. 17-yard pass play. Let's look at the rest of St. Thomas More's schedule. They'll jump into district play after this one. At Westgate, host Turlings, Catholic, Northside. They'll face Karen Crow, and they'll wrap things up against North Vermilion. You look at what they've done this season, kind of a sluggish game against Holy Cross. Took them a while to get going against the Tigers, but eventually got it going and won by 3 touchdowns. Beat Barb, and last week's win against Neville, that was completely unexpected. Not the fact that they won, but they won so handedly. And I saw earlier tonight Neville was losing to West Monroe, as those 2 teams do not play each other much in the regular season, West Monroe and Neville. They always play each other in a jamboree or preseason scrimmage game, but actual regular season game, that is very rare for Northeast Louisiana. Noah Frederick up the middle. Frederick, touchdown, Cougars. 1 point away from a tie.
And I know some people are thinking, hey, would you go for 2 in this situation? No. I think it's way too much.
Holstein's still out there.
Yeah, and I know there's some thought about it. I think they wanted to milk this clock a little bit more.
I would not do it.
But I think it's too early. Had this thing gotten down to about the 30-second mark,
they
want to think about it. I think there's too much time, but I could tell this is what they were setting up for. They wanted, that's why Fertitta called the timeouts earlier. They wanted to get this thing in that 30-second range and then try to go for 2. But with 1:40, that's a lot of time left. I think I'm kicking the extra point here.
Well, I don't think the kicker's out on the field here. Obviously,
but they're thinking about it. I mean, they're trying to figure out what to do. And the reason is because so much time you get down there in a field goal, you know.
I don't think they're kicking this ball. Let's see. They are not kicking this ball.
They're going for it.
How about this?
This essentially could be the ball game right here.
How about this gutsy call here from Jim Hightower? And he's got both his running backs out there, Tevino and Frederick. And now we need the Bears to use a timeout because they don't know what's coming at them.
Fertitta, he's run about a couple 100-yard wind sprints this game.
That is a unique formation when they got those two running backs out there and then they spread you out. Bears want to discuss it. So the timeout situation now, the Bears have just used 2, so that means they got 1 more left.
Yeah, and look, I mean, with STM sitting on 2 timeouts, even if you miss it here, you know, there's a chance you could get the football back. You know, and the thing about it is if STM is not successful, you know, it's going to be tough. I mean,
yeah,
that's the problem. But
there's got to be a feeling too from STM. Can we stop?
Yeah.
Can we stop them regardless?
Well, that's
so
right.
might as well just take the lead right here if they can. Huge 2-point conversion, to say the least. Some tense moments here in Cougar Stadium. Holstein rolling out. Oh, the throwback. Wow. There it is. 2 points, and the Cougars have the lead. Tobin Tevino, beautifully executed. And STM has a 1-point lead. And they are going crazy here at St. Thomas More.
What a brilliant play call. I really love this. I mean, you're talking about sending everything in one direction. Then you sneak Tevino out behind the defense. Nobody picks him up, and it's wide open. I mean, just wide open. You sneak him out. Everybody rolls with Holstein, and he's able to. And as much as we've seen Holstein just rip balls in there, that time he shows you he's got touch and just lays it out there to where Tevino can come down with.
When you go for 2 in a situation like that, Jason, you got to do something creative.
Yep.
Well, watch that North Carolina-Clemson game last week, and that was the dullest 2-point conversion try I've ever seen in my life.
When the game is on the line, in the country,
you have to go in. Not to say that was a trick bag, but you got to do something unique.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're gonna go out with a bang.
Yes, yes. All right, 1:41 on the clock. Catholic's got 1 timeout.
And really, if you're Cal the Kai, I know the fans and everybody, this atmosphere is going crazy, but there's no need to panic. I mean, you've had 1-play drives, and you've got a timeout there. You've got a minute 40, and you don't have to get in the end zone. You know, you just got to get in the field goal range.
Yeah, Kylan Dupree, their field goal kicker, his long this season is 38. So.
And with these 2 return guys back here, I mean, your average starting field position has been about your own 45-yard line.
Parker and Morgan. DC Stemmons has it teed up. Fasten your seatbelts. We are in for a ride for the final 141. Morgan from his 4. Morgan got hit behind the 20. And he will not go down without a fight.
That's the best kickoff coverage St. Thomas More has had all night, and it came at a critical point because now it's going to force Catholic High to drive this entire football field.
With a minute 33 left to go.
Well, I say the entire football field. They don't have to, you know, you got to probably look to get down to about the 25-yard line, somewhere up in there, 20-yard line, to really have a good shot at a field goal.
Catholic has had 7 touchdown drives tonight. 5 have taken place and only used less than 2 minutes. So they can get up and down the field in a hurry. Swing pass. Morgan, nowhere to run. Stevenson hits him, and there's Bouillon, brings him down inside the 20.
Well, that was a mistake by Morgan. He should have headed for the out of bounds. I know he was fighting for extra yards, but the minimal yards you pick up compared to the amount of time that runs. See, right here, he's got a chance to go left and get out of bounds, but he cuts it back in, and you got to get out of bounds there.
And now Morgan's got to run off the field. And there's a flag. Oh, man. A lot of time came off the clock, too. Well, now they're really going to have to try to push it downfield. Very few negative plays here tonight from either offense, but there was one from STM's defense.
Illegal substitution on the offense. 12 was in formation.
Yeah, what a bad time for these penalties.
So now from the 15. One team will leave this stadium undefeated. Quick pass. Grizzaffi runs up the field to the 28. Clock will be rolling here.
Got to go quick here. You want to try to preserve your timeout as long as you can. But it's third down here, so you want to make sure you pick up a first.
Thomas on the roll. Grizzaffi gets hammered.
You got to take
short of the first down.
You got to take your timeout.
Or do they got to measure it?
You got to take your timeout.
Clock is rolling. 38 on the clock.
You got to get your timeout here.
Yeah, they're going to measure this thing.
Okay, well then they'll stop it. But if not, you can't let that much. And it's a fourth down play.
All of a sudden, STM's defense making some plays. It's been a tough night for them. But when it matters, they're coming up big now. Of course, the clock will be stopped if they get this. And they do. Big first down. Allow them to catch the breath here a little bit.
Yeah, and they can be calling a play while they're moving the chains here. What a hit right there.
Oh, man. What a big hit by Grant St. Cyr. Long way to go, and they got 36 seconds to do it. Thomas, he'll run. He's got room to run. Gets out of bounds, and he's got the first down.
That's a good play there. You get a good chunk of yards, and you get out of bounds. You only burn about maybe 8 seconds or so there. So that's a good headsy play by Thomas. Some of that'll be there because St. Thomas More is in this quasi, prevent. They don't want the ball to get behind them.
Everyone on their feet here. Incomplete. Yes, he's out of bounds. Great diving attempt there by Grizzaffi.
And that doesn't hurt you much.
Dominic Zephyrin, good coverage.
Another 4 seconds comes off the clock. Get a chance the ball, you get a chance to catch your breath and dial up a good play here.
24 seconds to go. Into traffic, no flag.
Yeah,
there is a flag.
Yeah. I think that's the right call. I know the fan base here is going to be, but I'll take another look at it. They had him double covered, but it looked like there may have been some contact in there on the slant route. But let's see here.
And Toston comes up gimpy after that one too.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 35. 15
Let's see. Here we go. We'll take a look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's either holding or it's going to be pass interference because he knocked him off his route there a little bit early. Now you're talking about you need another 20 yards and you got a shot.
And the Bears got a timeout. They pick up the blitz. Thomas is running. Thomas slides. They're going to use a timeout
now
right
you
there.
got the first. I don't know that I'd have burned it.
Well, you don't know, though. You don't know. And Gabe Fertitta recognizes every second is precious.
It's a little short. So it's a good timeout. Good timeout. But I thought he had picked up the first.
Again, their field goal kicker, Kylan Dupree, 38 is his long. So that means they would need to get to about the 20. So they're 15 yards away from that.
And the problem is you got 11 seconds.
You got 2 plays to go here.
That's right.
Acadiana's only nonprofit.
And really, well, I don't want to say the middle of the field is off limits, but
it's tough.
It's tough. If you get the first down,
it'll stop it. You can get up there.
And they only need 1 yard, so
That's
that helps them a little bit. Getting the first down here is fairly easy, but getting 35 yards in 11 seconds.
Well, the idea,
much more difficult.
the idea is, if you can get it 7 or 8 right here, because they're going to be playing to stop you from getting into the comfortable field goal territory. You get you 7 and 8, they move the chains, you can run another play.
99 points on the board. Will we break 100? Thomas looking downfield in the double coverage. Ball knocked in the air, caught! With 3 seconds, the clock will stop. It's stopped because it's a first down.
Yeah, you bring the field goal team out. You got to bring the field goal.
Well, you got to down it. You got to spike it. You got to spike it. We got to see that play again. 1 second left, and here comes the field goal unit.
Wow, this is unbelievable. Let's see. So he throws this ball into a lot of coverage, and it gets batted around. This ball is thrown into double coverage, batted around. Wow.
1 second to go.
Yeah.
Noah Nash had that catch. Kylan Dupree, the biggest kick of his life. Timeout, Jim Hightower and the Cougars.
Going to ice him a bit. And, sometimes I agree with those timeouts. Sometimes I don't. Catholic High looked a little rushed trying to get the field goal, and the kicker doesn't really have a chance to take his time. Now you call a timeout, you can actually get your composure, make sure you get this thing blocked. But I also understand the ice and the kicker thing and making him try to think about it.
Again, go over the history of Catholic kickers, and it's been a good history. And Coach Gabe Fertitta told us earlier this week, Kylan Dupree wants to be known as one of those clutch kickers, puts a lot of pressure on himself. Like Parker Fontenot hitting the game-winning field goal in the 2015 state championship game. Or Cole Kazanov's field goal that he made last year to send Catholic to the state championship game.
Well, he's got an opportunity to do it here.
34 yards. His long is 38. And he's got it. The Catholic Bears have won it.
Wow.
52-50 on the final play of the game.
Unbelievable match. Just 2 unbelievable teams. This thing was fought to the end. And Jeff, you said it was going to come down to the last play. It did. It did. It came down to the very last play and the very last second. And, when we talked to Fertitta, he said one of the things that they have had the success is because of their specialists. And their specialists come through again.
Great snap, great hold.
And he nailed it.
Remember, they missed the extra point. Their first one of the night. But that time, everything perfect for our play of the game.
Oh, he nailed it. That was true and true. He could have hit that one from 45, 48 yards easily. He nailed that one. And I tell you what, Fertitta said he was learning to deal with the pressure. Well, it doesn't get much more pressure than that, buddy.
Wow. And the Bears, for the 5th time in a row, have defeated St. Thomas More.
Man, what a game. This goes in our instant classics, Jeff.
It certainly does. It certainly does.
We had this game circled for a reason, and we just knew. I mean, the caliber of these 2 teams, the offenses, and that they bring, just an unbelievable game.
Let's look at our player of the game. And it's Jalen Toston. He came into this game with just 6 catches and 1 touchdown. And welcome to to high school football, Jalen Toston, as your coming out party was here tonight.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he may not have been high on a bunch of recruiting boards, but after a performance like this, I mean, he's got a game film now that's going to make some recruiters start picking up the phone.
Jalen Toston, a huge night, over 100 yards receiving, and hard to pick as far as our player of the game goes, with the performance of Jackson Thomas, Toston, St. Thomas More, Holstein. But I think this game comes down to 3 plays, Jason. The 2 turnovers, well, and then obviously the field goal.
Yeah.
But the 2 turnovers, and then whatever that was right before the field goal on the ball that got knocked up in the air, and then it was caught. Because if that ball goes incomplete, then it's a Hail Mary attempt at that point.
Yeah, you're out of field goal range, and you probably can't get a field goal off. And I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable game.
Kylan Dupree is the big man on campus next week. My goodness.
Yes, he will. And I tell you what, the word about him in high pressure moments, well, he's answered that call. He's ready. And that's why you play these type of games, because this is a playoff atmosphere. It's how you can operate in clutch situations, and that's what these 2 teams accomplish by playing each other.
All right, let's send it down to the field. Kate Adams has an exhausted Gabe Fertitta.
Coach, wow, an amazing game. What a field goal for Kylan. Talk about that, such a big moment for him.
Yeah, really proud of him. He's extremely talented, and he's had his ups and downs this year, but we've all known how talented he is, and just an unbelievable ice water to go in there and just drill the kick with 1 second left. I mean, I can't say enough about him, about our 3rd string QB who was Holden, and our deep snapper Emery Duggar. Those 3 guys, fantastic job.
Well, you got a lot of stars on your team in tonight's game. Josh Parker as well as Toston. Talk about them.
Yeah, just, it was a full team effort, and we've won some games where the defense just carried us all night. We've won some games where the offense has carried us, and those guys tonight certainly showed out. And Toston, I mean, what can you say about him? He had an unbelievable game tonight, and of course Jackson Thomas at quarterback and the tailbacks. I mean, really a group effort. It had to be, because that's a heck of a football team.
Well, it was a heck of a football game, that's for sure. Actually, now Catholic High 5-0 in the rivalry since 2015. Feel to keep on winning against the Cougars?
Well, it feels great to win no matter who it is, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Hightower and their program, so we'll certainly soak this one up for about 24 hours, then flush it and move on to the next one.
All right, Coach, well, congratulations. And what we do for every winning coach every week is we have a Farm Bureau Coaches Cooler for the winner. So congratulations on the win tonight, and you guys go enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Go Bears.
Thanks, guys.
Next week, the Catholic High Bears have another big game against East Ascension. So after a couple of huge victories here over Carr and then coming on the road and beating a really good St. Thomas More team, they're going to have to get grounded quickly. And STM will have to try to flush this one as well and move on to district play, where it'll take on Westgate next week. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. Kylan Dupree, his 3rd field goal of the season is money. And the Bears beat the Cougars 52-50.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by Peak Performance. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete and everyone. Stronger, faster, better. Choose Peak. Check out the stories behind the games. Visit yourview.com/Louisiana.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is, for a better life, and we mean that. For you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
You're watching Game Time on YourView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out yourview.com.
Wow, what a ball game. 52-50, Catholic High defeating St. Thomas More in a matchup of two of the best teams in the state of Louisiana. Again, coming into tonight's game, Max Preps had Catholic High ranked #1 in the state overall, and then for St. Thomas More, they were ranked 3rd. So we knew we had a classic football game on our hands, and it lived up to the potential that we were anticipating.
It did. I mean, we had this game circled for a reason, Jeff. We knew that it was going to be a high-octane football game. Both of these offenses are just incredible, and it was on full display tonight. And I tell you what, we got the game that we've been looking for. Comes down to a field goal. You called it. You said it's coming down to the last play. I'm not going to say which team, but you said it was coming down the last play. Not only did it do it, it came down the last second.
It certainly did. Let's take a look at the highlights from this one, and there's a lot to go over. First drive of the ball game, and winding up and throwing one downfield, Jackson Thomas to Jalen Toston, who had a huge night tonight. 3 touchdown catches, but Caleb Holstein and St. Thomas More, just complete precision here. Jack Besh, the touchdown catch there. Braylon Morgan gets a couple of blocks, and he's into the end zone. Quarterback sneak, Holstein into the end zone. Holstein, snap a little bit off, doesn't matter, a little razzle-dazzle here. Carter Domingue hitting Jack Besh into the end zone. He's there for the 2nd time on the night. Up and over for Josh Parker, or almost over, but he's in the end zone. And then St. Thomas More really got the ground game going in the 2nd half. There's a touchdown run from Noah Frederick, who didn't play much in the 1st half, but was healthy enough to play in the 2nd half. Jackson Thomas took a lick, but he kept on ticking. And then here we go. Teveno into the end zone. He rushed for 100 yards tonight. Thomas winding up once again. Another touchdown for Toston. Holstein threw for nearly 400 yards. Into the end zone there, that time Peyton Bro. And then look at this. Big run. Josh Parker beats St. Thomas More into the end zone. Big play here, a huge turnover. Besh can't handle it. Catholic gets the turnover. They come right back down, get the touchdown. Toston into the end zone. Bears have their first lead since the 1st quarter. But St. Thomas More methodically gets back down the other way into the end zone. Frederick, a 2-point conversion to take the lead, and they get it. But here it is, the field goal to win it on the final play of the game. Kylan Dupree from 34 yards out. And next week, we'll try to top this one. I don't know if we can, but we'll try. We have a great rivalry on our hands as the Lutcher Bulldogs and the St. James Wildcats will meet in Vacherie. Terrific game here tonight at St. Thomas More. Want to thank everyone involved. The executive producer of Game Time, Eric Coleman, our producer in the truck, our good friend Cameron Galway, who did a terrific job. How about our statistician, Tommy Cooper, who was trying to keep track of everything that was going on in this football game. For our sideline reporter, Kate Adams, Jason DeQueer in the broadcast booth with me. I'm Jeff Palermo. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to do it again next Friday with St. James and Lutcher. Two great football teams on display here tonight. I think you'll probably see them playing a state championship game sometime in December. Congratulations to Gabe Fertitta and the Catholic High Bears. They head back across the Champlain Basin 5-0 after a 50-49 win over St. Thomas More. 52-50 win over St. Thomas More. That will do it. Good night. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next Friday.
Game Time on Your View has been brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow cooked, fall off the bone perfection and the best baked beans in America. Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com. Monogram Express. We make ordinary gifts extraordinary. And by Louisiana Lift. At Louisiana Lift, we're always on call. Check out yourview.com for in-depth high school football coverage all season long.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in or takeout, and 2 great locations, Florida at Don Moore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is, for a better life, and we mean that. For you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance.